So we played, obviously, DPC, just like most of the other teams. Then at the same time, we played the Pinnacle Cup tournament, where we placed third. So we basically played all the tournaments that we could play to get in the most amount of games. Other than that, we've been scrimming a lot. And just right now, before the major started, we decided to take like a short break. So I personally just went on a short vacation. So now I feel like more motivated than before and like more ready to get ready for the TI quals. And right now it's kind of like it's like the last preparation before the TI qualifiers. So we're gonna use this ESL summer event to, well, test out all of our ideas and hopefully do the best we can, you know, place high if it's possible.
Gets taken down. Yektor, it's gonna pop. Crystallis will die. NTD's down as well. So is Toby.
At least here where I am in Germany, summer has kind of just started. It's been like pretty delayed. We've had like crap weather, so at least for myself it's the same. I mean, now it's great weather, but well, at the end of it all, we're all Dota players, we're professional, we're nerds, you know, we want to play, and you should be able to find time here and there to still do the things you want to outside of Dota. So overall, I would say we're just nerding it up as much as before. How about I take Slark's shard? I think it's called fish bait, so I could throw it in the water and get myself some food. Maybe spider legs. I can run through everything and over everything. That sounds kind of okay. I hope it's fucking Cinderin. Cinderin is hilarious. We're really good fucking friends. He's also very smart, so he can help me. You know, if there's anyone who would get off this island somehow, in any way, shape, or form, it would be him. And as I said, he's actually hilarious. So please, give me Cinderin on the island. I'll take it. I won't even be upset I'm there.
I mean, you'd be hard pressed to not find success going with Cinderin on that one. Good answer, Sumkazu. I actually didn't know that they had such a bromance going on. That's good for them.
That's why he's not here. I'm casting with Sunsfan, Cinderin. He is actually on the island with Kazu helping him out.
That's right.
I disagree with those answers.
Why?
Number one, that is not the Slark shard.
It's not the Slark shard.
That's
not anymore.
I don't know how you would use the new one.
Depth Shroud. That seems good.
You would be surprised how many professional Dota players don't know what the shards actually do.
Number two, more importantly, I believe Cinderin would short circuit if he touched the water on the island.
Because
and that
he is a robot, of course.
Yes, a very cleverly programmed AI, but nonetheless, he would short circuit, and that would be an issue.
And I guess Spider Legs is a good answer.
That's a good answer, yeah.
Cut down the trees just like that. I think No Tail said he wants Jetpack to go fly up in the trees.
Yeah.
But just cut them down. And they talked about TI expectations. A lot of teams were bringing up, Liquid's in contention, OG's in contention. You know, maybe Tundra's a dark horse. Vikings in there also. And then, of course, there's Nigma, who are probably most poised to do well, seeing as how they got the most experience throughout the course of the Anna Major. And you'd be hard-pressed to not go on their side. Amazing run, right, Lacoste?
Yeah, they did. I maybe expected them to win the whole thing, considering how well they did. Everyone was doing their job. I think they got figured out because they played more games. They had the strats. I think they've been the most successful team with Luna. They figured out how to utilize the Dragon Knight, pushing the 2 towers at the same time, bring the early numbers to take out that tier 1 tower on a mid lane, which is the most important tower in the game. Just overall crisp performance. One thing I disliked is bringing out the Mage Slayer in elimination game. What the hell was that about?
I don't remember. Who'd they go Mage Slayer on?
A troll, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Who was it against? Was it against a Leshrac or something?
I don't think they played against anything. It was just yeah, I need this cloak, and I also want to upgrade it to something, get some cheap damage. Didn't end up well.
To be fair, I mean, they did kind of define the item meta for that tournament.
They did.
The Holy Locket thing on both supports.
All the Eon discs as well.
That was mostly them first. And then the Eon discs, I think the very first game that I saw 4 in one game, and then the carry building one was Nigma. And then we even saw Arteezy in the grand finals building Eon Disc on Nature's Prophet carry. And I mean, that's absurd if you were to look back 2 weeks. But now it's of course Eon Disc is this broken item. And that was Nigma. That was them first.
And we will get a chance to hear from GH, who we saw him. We were on the airport, actually, back, same flight, and we were like, hey, we're going to ESL. Are you playing in it? And he's like, I don't know. Turns out he is playing in it, and he has some words about this upcoming performance.
Hello, this is GH from Team Nigma. I play +4 and I'm excited to play ESL Summer. We started the any major and the wildcard, which requests for us to play a lot of games to get eventually to the main stage. I would definitely say that it helped us a lot learn about the teams and about ourselves and about the metagame. Specifically because we play a lot of different regions in the wildcard and then we play them in the group stage and then in the main stage. After we finish a tournament or whenever we have to discuss whether we're attending or if we can participate in an event or not, we have a team meeting and we discuss it together. Sometimes it's a bit rough to have like a clear decision of yes and no, so we usually have to talk about it and decide. I would say that getting as many games in right before very big tournaments and attending this ESL summer tournament would be something good for the team, so we just decided to do it.
They've lost Saxa and they've lost Notail. As OG, they'll lose 3 here.
Oh, that's a really easy one, man. Come on, you gotta step it up a bit. No, I'm just kidding. Deserted island. So the deserted island is probably surrounded by water, right? That makes it a bit easier. So I take the Slardar sprint for sure. Blur. Blur is nice, right? You just blur yourself and you can do whatever you want. You can kill the animals, you can eat the animals. And Phoenix Dash. That way you can never die. And that, for me, is my outro. Can't die, have endless amount of resources, and can scout everything. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Great presentation. Great TED Talk.
So good.
That was the most resource-heavy driven, and those were good answers.
Yeah, he would definitely be able to survive in the Survivor, when the whole thing maybe even beat the Bear Grylls in his own TV show. So yeah, he knows what's up. Like the man knows what's necessary for survival, not just in Dota but in real life.
Yeah.
And they were surviving in this tournament as I guess they had a team meeting and they were like, boys, what are we doing? We were hot off the Animajor, gonna find more experience, gonna play more European teams. And if you at home are wanting to play a game of yourselves, well, why not play the DHL Drop? That's right, you may remember this from the DPC. It is a quiz game where you're going to be able to participate in Twitch chat, get some sweet gear, esl.gg/dropdota. If you want to see what's on the line, you can join in. But you need to win first. You need to answer the questions correctly. Are you ready at home? Well, first, watch this video, and it'll explain everything you need to know.
Do you think you know everything about Dota 2? Then stay alert and look out for the DHL Drop Quiz on the ESL Dota 2 Twitch channel. Because as soon as the question is asked during the stream, the clock starts ticking. You will have 60 seconds to type your answer in the chat using this format. And keep in mind, speed is important at DHL. So the faster you answer correctly, the more points you get. Keep track of how well you are performing on the leaderboard. Will you manage to make it to the top and win one of these amazing prizes?
All right, get ready. I want you to already in the chat type !DHL drop space because speed matters. It's going to be very, very relevant. Are you ready for the question? If you could, production, show it to me. I'm curious. Are you ready? Which of these Dota 2 towns has earned the most competitive prize money? Is it A, Cinderin, B, Kyle, C, Purge, or D, Capitalist?
Oh, that's easy.
Is
it easy?
That's
Yeah.
very
All right, let's hear what
easy.
your justification is. Lacoste, which one are you going for in your mind?
Because I know, I did one of the show matches. I believe one of these people earned $150 through their professional career. I'm not going to name any names, but people will laugh it off. I believe like one guy just stands out. You would definitely not think it's him, but it's him.
Okay, all right. Jenkins, which one are you going for?
I'm going to say this answer from Lacoste is incorrect and offensive. You cannot win prizes in a society that is not capitalist. And so to me, this seems very obvious that this
It's a trick answer.
gentleman, it's a trick answer. They've all won because of capitalism.
I like
Yeah.
the thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll get you a win in the DHL drop. Gonna have to wait and find out because we're gonna go to a break, and when we return, you'll get your answer. We'll be right back.
너의 눈에 취해 갈수록 내가 위태로워져 내 작은 욕심이 자꾸 커져서 내 마음이 다 너로 가득 차 세상 모두가 너로 보였다 주문에 걸렸나 It's alright girl It's alright girl 같은 시간 같은 공간 속에 들어갈게 네가 있는 그 영원
You are just quivering with anticipation, I know. You put in the DHL drop. You selected your answer. You had 60 seconds to do it. Which one of those listed competitive players has earned the most prize money? Is it... Wrong direction. Is it... Cinderin? Is it Kyle? Is it Purge? Is it Capitalist? The answer is ding 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 boom! It's Kyle, everybody. That's right. It's not a Nexon champion. It's not probably someone who's attended more TIs than Kyle. It's not $13. How much did you say he earned, Lacoste?
$150.
$150
USD.
Capitalist
Yeah,
USD.
cash.
That's right. A cold hard cash. No, it is indeed Kyle.
I knew that answer.
Although maybe it's a trick question because I don't know if Kyle earned any money. Swindle Melons earned money.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's a trick question.
trick
Kyle
question.
actually earned 0.
No, I don't know. It's a gray area, but That's the answer. That's the answer that you're gonna need to put in. Hopefully you won, and then you're climbing up those leaderboards. But it's just day one of the tournament, so plenty of opportunities. Still plenty of time to watch some Dota. We are already knee deep into this draft. Viking GG versus Nigma, game one. We got an IO and a Brewmaster picked up by Nigma, and we've got an Abaddon and a Timbersaw for Viking GG.
Brewmaster, this is the hero that Fate Beyond played it. Even after the bad laning stage, he made it look like one of the best heroes in the game, which he's not. He has AoE Dispel, so maybe that's how you deal with the Eon Disc. Like, you can Dispel Abba's shield, which is really nice. You can... Miracle.
Oh, he forgot something.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, we forgot to... Oh, no.
We forgot to ban the Timber. Two...
No. He wouldn't react to that at this point.
Okay.
What would he possibly... Maybe... What was the ban? Ursa got banned out, and he's like, oh, no. I don't know. I mean, they got plenty of IO pairings. Gyrocopter is still in the pool. Ban out a Slark. Okay, interesting. They're really interested in protecting this Timbersaw's landing phase, I guess.
You need to be able to enable Slark. Maybe that's why it's great against Abba. It's great against the Timbersaw so far. They have literally nothing. Like, they have no silence. They have a silence with Abba, but it's a bit hard to execute.
It's a scuffed silence.
Yeah, and also with IO pairing, you give him that early survivability that he needs, regeneration, until he kicks in with the level 6. Brewmaster, he can deal well with Abba. Just cyclone him. Can't really do much against Timber. They definitely need a hero. Right now, the Viking are protecting their Timbersaw pick. Ursa banned out Slark. I also don't mind Luna early on, which was first phase banned. Just... early aggression that Luna brings. She's a mixed damage. They banned her.
Like, if you rotate anybody to a Luna's lane, you can kill a Timber quite easily. Maybe alone, Luna will just farm and not really pressure a Timber. But yeah, you can definitely do something with the Luna. This Brewmaster versus Timber is an interesting matchup because, sure, you are a melee strength hero as the Brewmaster, and if you don't have the ult, you're going to probably die to the Timber, but usually you're only running at people when you have the ult, and then the Timbersaw does nothing to the Pandalings, and you can just throw up the Timber in the fights if he's a problem. You can't bubble that off with Abaddon, so it's pretty good.
Pandalings, is that another Jenkinsism? I don't think I've ever heard someone refer to them as Pandalings.
Oh, they're little pandas.
But they're little brews. They're
little brewing Pandalings.
Pandalings, okay.
Yeah, that's a new one for me.
Never
Panda
heard
babies,
it before.
Yeah.
Morphling picked up. I guess some flex potential. Could go mid, could go carry.
Yeah, this hero owns Timbersaw. It's one of those weird ones where in lane, you just out-deny the Timber because you have such high base damage. And then by the time you're level 6, where the Timber could pressure you, then you can morph into him and do that pure damage to Timbersaw, which he really doesn't like.
That's why Rubik was super popular against the Timbersaw. Yeah. You steal anything from him. Not the top-tier pick anymore. We see some teams picking it, but definitely
Nigma picks it.
Yeah, Nigma does, Nigma does. They definitely need some kind of a lockdown, some kind of a stun control. Brewmaster brings that, but when he's level 6, right now, IO plus a Morph, it's really no control. This lineup seems like it's going to be, again, very good once they decide to group up and go as 5.
Props to all these Viking players for putting this backdrop on. That's a lot of effort. That's more players need to be more proactive about it. Generally, they're quite lazy, but Viking players, look at them. They have a sponsor, so I don't need to advocate for them getting sponsored, but good for them.
That's such a good line pick from Viking. It's good against all of these heroes. It's a hero that can burst somebody before IO can heal them. It's a hero that can interrupt the IO's relocate out. You can stop the Brewmaster from using his ulti. You can catch Morphling. Like, all of these heroes have something that you need to disable them before they do it. And Lion is the single best hero in the game at doing that.
Lion is just too strong. Like,
it's a good hero.
Like, give me one weakness of Lion.
He's fat and slow and goes 1-17 in every game, but then still wins.
That's just with you, Jenkins.
Okay.
Maybe when you played, I've seen better Lions all over the place. Maybe something like a Puck. Right now, they're very limited in terms of lockdown, so they might be preparing. I don't know where this Brewmaster is gonna go. If it's off lane, if it's position 5. I remember during the first DPC season in China, it was super popular. You rush. Like, it was pairing, I believe, Troll plus a Brewmaster, so you just ignite him, and he builds Urn, he builds into Spirit Vessel, so you have your own way of igniting people.
Oh yeah, they rushed the Urn, right?
Yes.
That was in, like, just Brown Boots Vessel as a 5. Yeah, that was super interesting.
Or even skip the Brown Boots. I've seen them, like,
literally no
Spirit
boots.
Vessel,
Yeah.
no boots at all.
Yeah.
Especially Red Panda. Red Panda from Elephant has been doing it during the first season.
That's right. Although, unfortunately, Red Panda has now been swapped out. They got super now.
So on the other side, on Viking, we still need a boom hero. Basically every single game that they've been playing for the last, like, I don't know, like 30 games, which they've been playing a lot because they played in this Pinnacle League. They pick Boom, some sort of SF or Lina, but it is almost always, barring like one game that they played, it's almost always a hard carry hero from the mid lane that's like, they will go SF, then go Daedalus. They'll go Lina and then go Daedalus Monkey King bar. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they were to prioritize that
I was thinking
highly
about Tiny, but maybe Lina is a better choice here because you have, I would love to see a Yule Scepter build, possibly from a mid lane.
if they were to prioritize
I
that
was thinking
highly
about Tiny, but maybe Lina is a better choice here because you have, I would love to see a Yule Scepter build, possibly from a mid lane. Spells.
Avada Kedavra. Is that how you said it?
I don't even know how I said it.
I think you got it. Yeah, I was actually putting together. And I
You
was
would
just like,
correct him on that.
Actually, it's Expelliarmus. One of the unforgivable curses, Imperio.
yeah, it's a good spell for sure. Axe is picked up.
The unforgivable curses, Imperio.
Yeah, it's
Looks at that major and thinks like, okay, we should practice the carry axe.
Yeah.
Even Viking,
Viking, they played.
Yeah, they played it in the Pinnacle League. So there's that, but also I do think that Mind Control is a good enough axe that you don't necessarily need the flex potential. Obviously, you would like it, but Nigma, they just got off their flights and then immediately sat down to play these games, basically. So I don't know how much time they had to mess with him.
well, you came in ILTW with the number of pubs that man's plays.
He might have played
up with the plane
He
Wi-Fi.
might have. I can see that.
Was queuing up
I can see that.
US space. He was playing with everyone on the ISS.
I'm sure at least he watched some replays of it
Yeah.
studied replays.
Viking pickup of Faceless Void.
Okay, I think if you're Nigma, you absolutely have to ban out the Boom Lina. It just seems to be the current best damage into Chronosphere hero.
Cat or Invoker. I wouldn't mind seeing Invoker banned.
Invoker's
Great
first
setup.
phase banned by Viking.
Oh, my bad.
Everyone's
my
been
bad.
respecting Miracle for sure.
Yeah, they were literally quoted, they being Nigma, that they got figured out. The Invoker was getting banned. They were relying very heavily on this hero. And so...
Other into Chrono heroes, you mentioned the SF earlier as one of the Boom signatures that Viking were picking during Pinnacle Cup.
SF would be okay. Basically, what Boom does on the mid lane is no matter what he plays, if it's a ranged hero, he goes for a Dragonlance into some Daedalus MKB build with Satanic. He just goes like pure hard carry from the mid lane, and then you'll have Faceless Void build into more kind of tanky items, Scotties and maybe Halberd, things like that. Aghanim Scepter.
One thing I noticed about Viking is that they love to run like 3 Agi cores. One game they had Ricky, Broodmother, and the Templar Assassin.
Oh, yeah, I saw
believe
that.
Templar Assassin is still available. I'm personally not a big fan if you have like Templar Assassin plus Ursa, 2 cores who rely on dealing heavy right-click damage, and then your offlaner could potentially just get a Heaven's Halberd and then you kill 2 flies with 1 item pretty much.
It's an odd timing thing too, just because of a Void plus a TA. I feel like they kind of... At the point where Void starts to do damage, TA does as well. You want heroes that can like do stuff with the Void before he himself can do the damage. Ideally, at least. That's why you see like the Snap Void pairing Lina Void, because Lina does early damage and late damage. Of course, it gets banned out because Boom is very famous for his Lina.
And Nigma are agonizing over this second ban. What to do? What are they most scared of that can put damage into the Cronus?
They don't have enough control, so any of the spirits come into play, especially Storm Spirit, one of the best heroes against IO in general.
And Morphling.
Also Brewmaster, even Morphling. Yeah, so maybe they should consider banning it out here. And there we go.
All right, so what's remaining? Boom played some Wind Ranger. That's an option. We've seen Tiny with Tree Volley be a possibility of putting stuff into Chrono, maybe not ideal. Templar Assassin these days with the range talent, you could probably reach into a Chronosphere.
I think for Viking should be something like either a Puck or Templar Assassin if they want to play a bit more tempo, gives them that tower damage. Because right now they don't have too much. They rely on Timbersaw going in. I'm talking about like killing the tier 2s, killing the tier 3 towers. Okay.
I did not expect that. Interesting. Okay. So they have. I mean, their team fight is wild. If they can go to the mid to late game with these heroes and survive, they are going to do a lot of damage in team fights.
There's Wyvern available if they want to swap things around, have Brewmaster being played as an off lane, you have like mid morph,
Carry Axe.
carry Axe,
Sure.
and it's a good way to split up the fight against the Magnus, also heal inside the Chrono. You still lack a bit of a control, so yeah, they go with a bit of a different pick. They go with the Puck. There is a way to deal with the silences with this ABBA. I think like Brewmaster will need to be able to do quite a lot. It's in the end gonna be a Brewmaster position 5.
So yeah, it looks like the plan is what you're basically mentioning is like Brew throwing up the ABBA and then Puck disabling everybody else, or maybe Axe can, like the way that they take team fights is going to be really important for Nigma. I think Viking can kind of just throw their stuff on the ground and it'll be a little bit easier for them, at least in the mid to late game.
They can throw their stuff on the ground, but there's a lot of cooldown dependency in their teamfight ultimates. And do you need both of them in every single teamfight, or you think they can stagger out RP one fight, cleave them up, Earth Spike, and then Chronosphere another fight?
I think at the timing that they want to fight, they can stagger it because they don't have any damage for Chrono until the late game anyway. And so at that point, it's like if you RP, you have damage from the Void. If you Chrono, you have damage from the Void because he's your only source of damage.
I gotta be honest, I favoring Enigma's draft here, where they have no cooldown, so this is very punishable. You have RP, you have Chronosphere, even a finger, long cooldown ability. So I expect Nigma to just do what they've been doing throughout the major, group around early on and keep that pressure going.
I think the IO generally too is really good against these like heavy team fighting heroes. You can relocate people out, which is really nice, out of the Chrono, out of the Magnus RP, and you just have constant regen, constant like essentially fountain regen, so you can just farm right in the enemy team's face, and if they don't have cooldowns, they can't push you out of their jungle and stop you from doing that.
Yeah, I don't even know how you're supposed to burst people once you do get them, because you'll get morphing. Axe is going to be extremely tanky, and I don't know, beyond that, Puck has just been generally quite slippery. I am also going Nigma, which feels bad, because, you know, Viking, they've been grinding out their other games. They made it through to upper division, but we're looking at and a major hell of a performance from Nigma, so it's hard to go against them. Let's see how it all happens in game number 1 with our casters, Sunsfan and AUI 2000.
Thank you, Tsunami and panel. Sunsfan here with AUI 2000, aka Curtis. Used to be under the DC banner, then you abandoned me, and now you're a caster. How are you doing, young man?
That was the beginning of the end. I'm doing well, though.
Good. That's great to hear. What do you think of this matchup between Team Nigma and the old Vikings?
Well, before talking about the players, I was just sort of interested about the draft, because we saw at the Ana Major, LGD versus EG, Grand Finals Game 1, when they picked Axe against Timbersaw, the Axe absolutely destroyed the Timbersaw lane. So I'm sort of surprised they didn't do that this game. Instead, they opt for a different mid hero. I expected this Morphling to go mid. I think it's pretty good versus Magnus. And then you have the Axe carry versus Timbersaw. I think that's what an LGD would have done. But Nigma, they have a different idea.
Yeah. Curious
to see that. Matchup-wise, I think most people are coming favoring Nigma. They had a pretty good run in an Ana Major. Meanwhile, Viking lost to, was it Team Spirit in Pinnacle Cup? They got third. I think they lost to Team Spirit.
Yeah, of course, they were relegated. That was the big drama in the Season 1 of the DPC to Division 2, obviously. And
they did go 7-0.
Yes, well, I mean, that's Division 2.
It is Division 2, and they did look a bit shaky in some of their games. I don't think, like, the normal dominance you would expect out of the old 2020 Viking.
All right, well, the game is about to start here, and I mean, do you agree with the panels? We might have some action here. Mind Control linked up with G8. Shad really wants to get this early bounty rune, and Shad will get it.
A little bit short on that lion stun.
Yeah.
So what was that you were asking me, though?
Thank you. That's very courteous of you, Curtis. Really appreciate you looking out for me. But the cooldowns here, like the panel is kind of talking about the Chronosphere. You have the RP. You don't really have a ton to put in the Chronosphere. Like, in terms of the team fight, do you like what Viking has to offer, or is it... Like, you have the Empower for Void, obviously, and you have Chakram inside the Chronosphere. Do you think they needed more, or do you think it's fine?
I don't really think you need that much Chrono damage to play with Faceless Void, just in general. I think they should have enough. They do have Finger as well, coincides well with the cooldown. I don't think... If Timbersaw has a good lane, then the cooldowns don't matter. But if Timbersaw manages to get pressured, we saw the Major a couple times where, like, I think Alme on Faceless... Oh!
Oh my god! Kezu, alright.
Beast.
We see you. Nice Timber Chain. ILTW
tip
gets
players?
dropped.
I won't, but I want to tip Kezu there because that was a pretty sick play from him.
Yeah, if observers could tip, that would be... I think that could be a thing that the Battle Pass maybe unlocks, right? Look at this. Nice stun from Armis, and they set this up. I mean, you always have to be careful.
Perfect. He had stick, but he wasn't expecting that pure damage coming out of Kezu.
Yeah.
It's a very underrated nuke. 60 mana for 100 damage. He just spammed that level 1. Got a kill on the Morphling.
Yeah, that's not something you see every day, though.
More importantly than even just a kill, which, I mean, it is important, they get lane control now, because as Morphling was dead, he couldn't control the lane at all. Now they have it in front of the tower, and they're going to be able to pressure. This 5 Brewmaster is very greedy. It's not a strong laner at all. If Timbersaw has a good lane, then when your cooldowns are down, he can sort of push lanes and pressure anywhere on the map, and he can like bring all the attention to him. So even though you have this Chronosphere RP cooldown, he can make up for that time.
And you have in the mid lane, we haven't really talked yet about it, Miracle on the puck versus Boom's Magnus. How do you like this matchup, hero versus hero, not including the players themselves?
I'm not going to lie. My worst matchups are definitely in mid lane because I don't play that much mid. In my head, I think both of them should farm. Puck should eventually out-harass Magnus, but then Magnus goes to the jungle and slightly out-farms Puck.
Right.
And then it's on like who has the better rotations with a little bit of Puck favor.
Right. All right, well, so far, pretty even overall. Boom has a little bit of a CS advantage right
Morphling
now.
has 2 CS. 2.
Yeah, I mean, that first blood definitely hurt. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be left alone now to try to get some last hits under the tier 1 tower. I mean, in terms of, like, how big of an advantage does that give you dying at level 1?
I mean, Morphling's the type of hero that he's really weak to level 1 and 2. When he gets level 3, he gets significantly stronger. When he gets level 5, he becomes a beast in lane. So anything you can do to sort of mess with the equilibrium, because he is a 280 MS hero, is very high value.
Well, GH getting harassed here a bit by Celery. I believe he picked up a Ring of Health from the secret shop, so...
I wonder if they watched Miracle's Puck at the Animator, because he never takes Fascia. Every game I saw him, he went 4-4-0. So he is quite gankable. If he wastes Orb to get a CS, they come behind him with some lines, skewer him to tower, he could definitely die. And the reason I'm talking about this is because Timbersaw, it looks like his start is good enough that they're going to leave him pretty early.
Okay, yeah, that could have a pretty big impact on the game, right? I mean, right now, in terms of the top lane, Mind Control is just doing axe things. Just cutting this wave to some degree. He's going to get harassed here. Curse of Avernus is there, but Sully just doesn't really have any damage to deal at this stage. I mean, Mind Control already has that Ring of Health, like we talked about. It was passed over by GH.
You can see GH, he's even dewarding his Ancient Camp right now because he understands he's going to be freed up. Really cool, like, Sentry from Viking. I don't think they expected this one on Nigma. They do get it.
Armis getting chased by Kuro. So you're saying the position, I mean, obviously this is true, but the position 5 Brewmaster, pretty greedy, but how does it fit in once you get past the laning stage?
And basically, your idea with this hero is you're suffering a bit in the lane, but you're supposed to give a great team fight. They're going on Celery here, so nice blocks from GH.
Yeah, that's going to be a kill, no doubt about it. Although, no, Boom is here with the Shockwave potential. Skewers GH back into the tier 1 tower, but there's the tether to get to safety again. So Celery does live through that engagement overall. And now back to farming we go.
So back about the Brewmaster, you're basically betting that what you're losing in laning will be made up for in other aspects of the hero. Sometimes it's damage, sometimes it's team fight. For Brewmaster, it's like mostly control and team fight. I'm not sure, I haven't seen much of it, but the matchups he has is good. Like, you can just lift the Timbersaw into fights and ignore him. You can lift the core, then you're trading your 5 position for a core, and you feel really good in these fights.
Boom trying to get aggressive here in the mid lane again, but Miracle with the Illusory Orb, the Aphotic Shield for Celery. Boom staying alive for now. One more right click will do, but he's pretty fast. No skewer for another 11 seconds, but he's created a lot of distance here, trying to deny himself to Roche before the Illusory Orb comes, and he'll be successful.
He denies on that
20 seconds. Yep, that is true.
He doesn't get the TP score, though. That's always a moral, what they call, like,
when you die to neutrals, you don't get a TP.
Yeah, because usually if I feed, I just go, guys, I just want a TP scroll. You can't do that. Very disadvantageous.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, well, Kezu in the meantime in this bot lane, 23-7 in terms of CS. So he's doing fairly well. I mean, at some point, like level 5, I assume, he just starts... I mean, how do you like to see the Timbersaws play? Diving the tier 1 tower, trying to create as much space as possible, or...
I think this game, it's a little hard to pressure Morphling, usually. I'm not too sure like how much this First Blood will change that dynamic. If you can pressure the enemy carry, then that's always going to be your first option. But if you can't, then skipping the wave, sort of cutting it and like wrapping on mid is also a good option. Or just honestly, just focusing on your own game. You can see he has a hood queued up. Once he has that, he's he should feel pretty immortal this game. Maybe Morphling has a timing. The level 6, you steal that Whirling Death. I've actually seen Timbersaws versus Morphling. Sometimes they skip their first spell and they go like 0-2-3s, just so that when Morphling gets 6, he can't have that timing on you because you don't see the skills, so you morph into him.
I see. Oh, bottom lane, they're going to lock down ILTW again. He's attempting to get out with that attribute shift. Looks like he's okay for now, but they might turn this around to Kuroki instead. There's 3 members of Viking right now, but here comes Miracle. Made his first TP rotation. Shows himself now, has the coil available. Looks like he's going to use it. It's only going to be on 1, and it's just the support Abbott on level 2. Looks to be fine for now. He's going to get the Aphotic Shield off. Now they might try to turn this around on Miracle. Armis has plenty of mana to work with. Miracle might get silenced if he's not careful. There's the silence coming in. It's going to prevent the Illusory Orb. Gets hexed on top of that, and a huge kill for Viking in this bot lane.
That is really rough for Puck. Puck's the type of hero where you need your first rotations, especially your TP rotations to go out. Oh, they're still going.
Yeah. ILTW is hanging on by a thread here. I mean, he does have the Morbid Mask. I mean, it's on the way, at least.
Yeah, he will. He also has the Bastard Ring, so he can sort of sustain himself through mana that way. Just keep morphing down and up. The big thing about that, though, is Puck died after using his TP, so he has to walk to a lane, and his mid-tower took 600 damage versus Magnus. Magnus not typically the hero you'd expect to pressure a mid lane.
Yeah, that is true.
And they have to commit more resources to bottom here. Wisseason has to TP in.
Yep, the siege is still alive as Kezu continues to just tank this up. Kuroki trying to take it out himself. He's going to take heavy damage as a result. Finally, the siege gets taken out, but you can see the damage is done on this tier 1 tower for the most part. The question is, can Viking continue this onslaught on this tower, or will they be forced back by Team Nigma?
I think the big thing that Nigma does have going for them, though, is if we click over to Mind Control, I think he has 4,200 net worth. He's farmed 72 CS, just pulling the waves into neutral creeps. Right now, Nigma, they sort of need to stave off the onslaught from Viking. This Timbersaw is very high pressure early. They're even backing up with both supports. Not much they can do about it.
Yeah, Kuro trying to create some sort of presence here. Do you think they just give this up then? Yeah.
I think they have to. They can sort of try to hold their jungle, make sure that Viking need to bring more resources in order to pierce that area of the map, but you can't contest this Timbersaw right now. He is too fat.
Yep, he's a big boy. But speaking of big boys, like he said, Mind Control has the Vanguard, has 1,400 gold, so Blink Dagger not too far away. And how do you like the new axe these days? Like, is there a game where you don't go Manta?
For
these days,
probably. I don't know when. Maybe like you have enough damage, you want to keep up the snowball, because Manta is inherently a slower item.
Yeah.
But you can see this Timbersaw, he took bot tower so fast, he's just going to come up here to the axe.
Top lane. All right, speaking of Mind Control, going to get the Chronosphere from Shad. They have the damage with that Chakram into the Timber Chain, but he's so tanky on Mind Control. But again, it's just a matter of time. Oh, faking out the Culling Blade, but not nearly low enough to get a kill.
One spin there, and he had the Void, though. That would have been a big play. And you can see, this is part of the benefit of Viking. They had to play through this Timbersaw. If they took bottom tower early, all of a sudden they can defend their top tower. Even though Axe has 4,400 net worth, he's not able to push forward on the map. You look at his options now, like he doesn't want to go farm neutrals when he's this farm, but I don't think he really has a choice.
As Kezu now showing up in the top lane after that kill.
Really smooth rotation by Viking there.
What's that?
Really smooth rotation for Viking there. They got the Void out of the lane, like a disadvantaged lane. They used Chrono to kill the highest net worth hero, and now Kezu's defending their top tower and Void's free farming bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. But from Nigma's side, now trying to make some sort of push effort on this tier 1 mid, and all they have is Celery and Armis to try to defend for now. Let's see if they have enough damage. Not deniable yet, as some rotations are on the way for Viking. See if they can actually do something about this. Hex into the Earth Spike with the Chakram to follow from Kezu. Won't have enough damage to actually get the kill here, but they will force off Miracle for now. Looking for that regen, but Celery has been really good at taking these bounties and power runes so far this game. So Viking with a 1k net worth advantage so far, as ILTW now showing up in the top lane.
You can see Nigma's plan here. They just want to move the Timbersaw around. They moved in top. He had to defend the tower or kill the axe, and then they immediately start hitting the mid tower, so he has to walk all the way over. Now he has no TP scroll, and ILTW is manning up on that top tower. They are setting up for their blitz.
Oh, boom. First RP of the game into the finger. My goodness. That is a deletion of ILTW, and that is the Blink Dagger reveal for Mr. Boom, but at the same time, maybe sticking around a little bit too long. Miracle's here with the coil into orb, and that ends up being an easy trade.
And they have a wagon up here. I think with the Magnus dead, this might be a tower. They might have noticed that TP got cancelled from Viking side as well. So that was a finger you're waiting for all of the Gambit series, huh?
I forgot what it looked like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's a very cool
It looks
move.
like it still works in Dota, so that's good to see. But yeah, they do get that tier 1 tower here. And Blink Dagger was picked up by Mind Control. I mean, we've seen a lot of position 1 axes, obviously, where they don't go Blink for a while, right? Where they just go straight for the Manta into Shard. For offlane, Blink is pretty typical still, but you still end up going Shard, Manta at some point in the game, usually, right?
I think typically you do. He even has that chip vest, which helps him farm a lot faster. I think it's sort of your responsibility as an offlaner. If you're having a good game, you have to get an item that can change the status quo of the game. Blink Dagger is usually that item. I think we'll see... I mean, Nigma should smoke here, in my opinion. They have Coil in 17, so maybe they'll wait for that. But they have that Brewmaster ulti. They have the Blink Dagger. They should try to get mid-tower and force a big team fight here.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Shad was taking out some stacks in the triangle for Viking. He has... I mean, he had Empower, he has Maelstrom right now, and I mean, anytime you're at this state of the game is we're going to see initiation from Mind Control. So Blink Dagger has been revealed, and it was, I mean, just on Celery, so no surprise factor coming out for Nigma now. But,
he did show it on the ward, but that felt like a very, like, lazy Blink, right? Like, normally if you get Blink, you think, I have a timing, I'm stronger than them, we can force something. I don't know if the info is just that they don't want to take a fight with it, but in my head it doesn't feel right. Like, they have no RP, they have no finger. You should want to do something with the timing.
Yeah, and then from perspective of Viking, Shad is top net worth as a faceless void.
That's
I
terrifying.
feel like, I mean, maybe I watch too much NA Dota, Curtis, but I feel like faceless void is this hero that does not get off to a good start a lot of the time. So the fact that he is on top right now is a good sign for Viking.
Pause coming out just to give some time to talk. They really like us. They want to hear us.
Right. Of course, I've been watching a lot of Envy, so maybe I'm a little biased on the Faceless Void games.
Faceless Void, I mean, he's a strong laner, so he should have an okay start. But when he goes to the jungle, he just hits creeps one by one very slowly.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any skills that really help him farm. This game, there's an Empower, right? So as soon as you get those stacks, suddenly a weak... Like, Void, his skill set's really strong. I think his first 2 skills, Time Walk and Time Dilation, they could basically be considered ultimates on other heroes.
Boom! Boom! Ah, that felt good. That always feels good.
You should make a voice pack.
Thank you.
It's a sound pack.
I can make a lot of money off
You
of
would
that.
make a lot of money.
No doubt. If Valve would actually accept all the voice lines, I'd make even more. But, you know, that's another story.
No, I mean more for like the heroes.
Oh, for the...
Like not even like voice lines.
You know, I
just
actually submitted
effects.
my voice for Pit Lord before he was in the game.
Like
I sent an email to Ice Frog, and I can't do the voice anymore. I actually tried it the other day. It was really bad, but I submitted some voice lines. I'm like, I would like to do Pit Lord because he wasn't called Underlord at that point, and they replied with a very nice email saying, we only work with voice actors that are part of like the voice acting union. It's basically a way to say you suck at this.
That's
We're
very
not
reasonable.
interested.
That's very nice of them because I think
they don't respond.
if they didn't have that excuse, you would have gone to something a lot meaner back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's always good to see. But yeah, good start for Viking so far. I mean, at what point does we talked about the Blink Dagger on Mind Control. Does I feel like they need to maybe get a little bit more active, or you think they're fine right now?
I think they need to get active. I feel like usually when you have a Morphling, you have sort of the late game advantage. But if you look at this game, I think Lion and Void specifically are really good versus him. And it's hard to shotgun support Abaddon. So like one of your offensive options as a carry Morphling is lower.
Right.
I don't feel like Viking should feel they're on a timer. And if the status quo continues, like as long as they just keep using their spells while cooldown, they should feel very comfortable this game.
We see Boom in the jungle.
Maybe they're waiting for IO-Mech. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, I'm not sure why they don't want to fight. Like, the players, they have better information than the casters because they're just better at Dota. But I'm not too sure what their comms are like to make them wait.
You get to see a primal split from Kuro on the Brew, but it is position 5, so I'm sure once we see this initiation come through, we'll see all these teamfight ults.
He is level 8, and he is just sort of sitting in front of his mid tower, making sure Viking can't go there. Perhaps they just believe in IoTW to carry this game. It's not a bad bet, to be honest. Just a bit worried. Like, I feel like it's very easy to mess up on Morphling this game.
Yeah, how do you feel about Morphling versus Void, and like in a late game matchup?
I think it's Void favored. I think Morphling generally doesn't like melee heroes that bash him. Traditionally, it's like Slark, Morphling, Troll, Void, they used to all counter Morphling.
Celery showing himself here. Mind Control is going to finally get off that blink call. Borrow time is already popped. He's just going to get run down here, though, in all likelihood. Although there is Aramis coming. He gets the Earth Spike off, only connecting on one. They might turn around on him instead. But Celery showing how this position 5... Okay, he's finally going to get called again and chopped down here. That's the most satisfying spell in the entire game.
It is very satisfying. I really like Mana Void, actually. It feels good to hit a good Mana Void.
Except you have to play Anti-Mage.
I don't like Anti-Mage. So Lion's actually only 100 gold from his 50 gold from his Blink Dagger now.
Really?
He's very fast.
Aramis. That's crazy.
I think Celery actually didn't know that Abaddon OT could not remove the Axe Call because he instantly popped it there at the Secret Shot. Even if you use it, you're still called.
Yeah. All right, Kezu taking some pressure here, but Mind Control gets off the call onto 2 heroes, but has to back up now. He's gonna just get, nope, he's gonna get skewered back into the tier 1. They might have to leave him here with the Chakram, the Whirling Death, all this damage from Viking. Able to blow up the pretty tanky Mind Control.
They do use the solo chrono on Io. Io still has mech up and is over half HP, so that was a little bit optimistic. But they do get the bigger kill. I think sometimes in those types of team fights where they get really staggered, your comms can get really chaotic. Like maybe Void thought he had a finger there just to finish off the eye or something, but they're focused on the axe.
Right. Yeah, Kezu pressuring the tier 1, trying to keep this siege alive again. He's been doing a really good job this game. Of course, that is Timbersaw's MO, generally speaking. Is that... Are they getting 2 mechs? Am I crazy?
Who's getting second?
Kuro?
Did they?
Yeah, Io has a mech and...
Oh, Kuro has one queued up.
Queuing one up right now. You're going to see the Primal Split. Coil only onto 1 right now. They're actually going to pop it right off the bat. They're going to be able to kill the Storm Panda. There's the RP, though, only onto 1 hero. And the Chakram to follow. They don't have enough damage to take out LTW right now. So it's a 5v4 in favor of Team Nigma. LTW continued to try to right-click boom. I mean, he has turned into Faceless Void himself, so he gets off the Time Walk. Has a ton of HP manipulation now. He gets pressured here again by Kezu. There's the Berserker's Call. Can they actually blow him up in time? It's going to be close. Timeout coming off cooldown. There we go. Shad will live, but the tier 1 falls.
Really clutch play from Kuro there. They coiled the Lion, and Viking was telling him to break the coil so they could shield him. But as soon as he broke coil, he actually threw up the Abaddon in the air. And then, Abaddon ulti to take off the Panda Whirlwind thing, but it's just enough time to finish off that line, which really clutched him to fight.
Yeah, Kuro trying to get these stacks taken from Shad. Gets the Thunderclap off. I believe he got those as well. Now he's going to get pressured, though, but there's the counter initiation from Mind Control onto 2. Product Shield applied to Shad now, but they're just going to turn this around. Looks like Kuroki is the first to fall in this engagement. It'll be a 1-for-1 to start. And now we have the relocate coming for GH, so Miracle will be out of here. Mind Control able to blink out in time.
He is going for that Manta style. I think he's identified that they need more carries this game than just the Morphling. If Morphling has to solo carry this game, he's going to get Hex, he's going to get Chrono, RP'd, everything's going to go on him. And, I mean, you can save him with Io, but it's very scary, right? Like, they have a lot of damage come out for Viking eventually.
Right, and he's kind of off to a mediocre start at best.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Normally, you don't see Morphling bottom of the 6 cores in the game. He's a very fast farming hero, very stable at farming.
Very true. And now the Armis has that Blink Dagger. ILTW has to be careful with the low HP manipulation here. He's going for... Here's the Dragonlance going for Manta now. Alright. In terms of net worth, though, still pretty freaking even overall. And then from Vikings' perspective, Shad has the casual Sange going for Scotty next. What do you want him to upgrade this Sange into?
I think he has the SMY on Courier.
Or does he have SMY?
Yeah, he has the SMY on Courier. I think that's correct. The stats resistance versus Axe is the only thing that really helps versus Call. Not even Aeon just takes it off, for example, or this Abaddon Shield. And eventually, I mean, I think Scotty, this is a really good Scotty game, but eventually you're going to want some sort of lifesteal, and SMY amplifies that.
Yeah.
They are just doing Roshan, though. This is very cool.
Yeah, Mind Control and company.
Yeah, they got the Illusion Rune on Axe, which does quite a bit of damage to Roshan, even without the shard, just through getting hit and spinning.
Yeah. It's already at half HP, and you can see on the minimap that Viking are not even remotely aware of this, so it looks like it's going to be a freebie for Team Nigma.
A really good ward from Kuroki in the enemy jungle, just setting up any vision so that they know if Viking are coming.
Yeah, and there we go. ILTW takes that Aegis. Do you agree with that choice over Miracle?
Yeah, I feel like Miracle... he should play for the outplay this game. Like, feel like he won't die because he's just gonna be phase shifted and moving around the fight.
And he's getting A on disc apparently.
Yeah,
third item.
good choice. They have mind FRP.
I was talking to Lacoste about this. How do you think that item is gonna get nerfed? What would you do?
I think it just needs a cost increase.
He said
Maybe the vulnerability a bit shorter. Honestly, that item, I think it's gone a bit overrated. Like in EG's last series with LGD, when they had it on Fear and Storm, like it was just straight bad. They should have had BKBs. So like it is a strong item, but you can't over-index on it. It doesn't do any damage.
Right. We have a smoke here from Team Nigma on to 4 heroes. But we can see that it's mostly for warding purposes, as they're not really going to find anybody, at least not yet. And as we can see, the mech. So yeah, Kuro, oh, we're going to have the initiation. Mind control, jumps in. Kuro is there. Shad is just going to pop his ult and TP out, but the coil will stop him in his place. So they're going to expend that for the support kill. And a chop down as well from mind control.
I feel like Celery's pretty happy with that. The coil is the only thing that will really kill this Void. I mean, maybe like if they perfectly time all their souls with all their heroes there. But I don't think call silence is generally going to be enough. So he buys his carry like 80 seconds of free farm.
Right. So it looks like Team Nigma did have a conversation about the double mech, Curtis.
That's good.
So Kuro he has a 4-staff now instead. So that's good to see. I thought it was like, is there some next level reasoning that they're going
Nah,
to
I remember in Dota 1, mech used to stack. And the terms had to like ban out having more than one mech manually.
And Necro, I think, was 2 max per team or something like that?
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah. A lot of restrictions. Pudge wasn't allowed to get a Blink Dagger, Vengeful Spirit as well. We've come a long way. That was basically alpha days for Dota, feels like.
Yeah, for Dota 2 for sure. And Viking, they smoke up. They have all their spells. Their Abaddon's back up. Not too sure what the point of this smoke is. They had mid and bottom pushed in.
Boom. Yeah, his smoke is going to be revealed by Miracle on the high ground here. Of course, they have pretty much everything up right now, so looking for a potential big initiation into Burst.
Yeah, I feel like that smoke was pretty low percentage. They weren't smoking to any wards, and I mean, they have one ward at the bottom river, but it's more of a defensive ward to show the rune. And they had mid and bot lane pushed in, so they instantly have to show a Timbersaw bottom, they instantly have to show someone mid, and they don't find anyone with that smoke.
Right.
A little bit awkward, but these things happen. Sometimes you think you see a line, and you know, you're just one piece of information's off.
Hey, based on the pace of the game right now, who do you favor? Because net worth-wise, it's pretty even.
I mean, the heroes on Viking I favor by experience. I favor the experience of Nigma, right?
Right.
Because like the later the game goes, I think the more experience in Dota kicks in. I would say the heroes on Viking are way easier to play at this point, though. You're gonna need to have some great relocate saves. The thing is, like, would you trust GH to get a clutch relocate save when he's done it literally 50 times in higher pressure situations?
Right. This is actually kind of cool. Kuroki has a shard queued up that gives the Void Bruling that has like the disarm.
Okay.
So the ultra micro coming in from Kuro. Of course, he's very poor, so Aghanim Scepter would be amazing with a double charge, but
I have never seen the shard.
yeah, it's very rare. So we'll be interested to see how well it works. I mean, if he gets that off on Void, obviously that's going to be pretty freaking powerful. It's Miracle looking to set up here as the tier 2 is there, but only coil onto 1 as Mind Control gets the initiation and the chop down onto Aramis. And with that, we'll see if Viking tries to back out. Kezu completely surrounded, but the Timber Chain is there. Shad looking for the initiation. Chronosphere onto 3, but there's the relocate while he was chronoed. Nicely done overall, but that's going to be the Aegis down. You can see GH TPing back to the tier 2 tower, which was not taken out. Mind Control now. Gets the call off only onto 1. Now the waveform, but there is a big RP onto 2. Can they save ILTW? Gets off that Manta style, but boom, again, the skewer back into enemy lines. Celery finally gets the borrow time off as ILTW continue to get right click, but do they have the damage is the question. Shad needs to look for this potential kill. The Timber Chain is there. Now the waveform into TP. He needs the bash, but he's not going to get it. But in the end, Vikings still get 3 kills. Very nicely done from them.
It's amazing to take a team fight. Even though Lion gets taken out, right before he dies, he drops his high ground ward. It gives him vision of all of Nigma's heroes. It gives him freedom to play the fight. I think a little bit over-aggressive by Shad. I think he maybe could have helped his backline with that morphing a bit, but they end up executing really well and winning that fight.
Yeah, I feel like they were very patient with their spells as well.
I did not know you could relocate during Chronosphere.
Well, yeah, he relocated, tethered, and then got stunned, and then he still went out.
No, I thought it stopped it. It definitely used to stop it, or I swear it did. I could be wrong. I don't play much IO. But maybe they changed it.
Mechanics have changed like 1,000 times over. People that have been in the scene for a long time.
Our brains don't
like
work.
You and me, it's just, you have to guess at a certain point.
Yeah.
Time is money.
Also, the tooltips don't say, so... Because we don't deserve it. We're scummy Dota players.
The tooltips can be a bit frustrating at times, I won't lie. But, oh, we see a shard on GH. So the tether stunning. The old...
That's interesting.
Imba tether is back.
Well, you have to break it though, right? Oh no, it's just when they touch it. Sorry, I'm completely wrong here.
This is something you don't see very often.
This shard is underrated. It has to be underrated. Like 10% extra move speed just to move around the map on IO has to be good.
Yeah.
And you can double stun people, right? Because it's just when they touch it, so you just cancel and redo it. So it could be a 3.5 second stun. They lack some lockdown for the Void. I was saying they need a coil. Maybe they don't know.
Oh, Celery popping this smoke. He's going to be the one they initiate on again, and I feel like this is exactly what he wants. Gets off the borrowed time. He's being out, again. But there's the coil. I feel like this... Are we watching a replay right now?
He's just doing his job very well.
I've done this before, Curtis, at the Major. I cast the replay, just double checking that this was...
it was real life.
All right, real life, thank God.
Not a fantasy.
All right, thank Gaben. Yeah, it feels like Viking are... I have to say, Celery's playing really well this game.
I think so too. I think he's been very on point with his positioning. He's like, he's dancing that line, you know, it's support Abaddon. You can't play too far forward because then they just pop your ulti for free. But you need to make them think they can go on you, and you need to block all the smokes, and he's done that very well.
All right, well, Mind Control is 100 away from finishing the shard for himself.
Oh, that's a big courier snipe. They sniped Kezu's Shivas.
Oh, that was the Mystic Staff, yeah. So 3 minutes with no Shivas.
No Shivas versus IO and Morphling. So they do have a bit of a timing here. They're down 3k, but that effectively makes them 4k stronger. I'm going to give the plate a little bit of value.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, Mind Control, once that shard comes, he's going to feel he just buys it now. So the aggro counter helix, as it were, is now online. Well, on the way at least.
All 3 cores from Viking are above Nigma's, but I think with the Shivas down and with this Manta pickup, they do have damage to win these fights. They can definitely clutch it out. They have a silence to like stop the Abaddon from saving from you know, this double IO spell, tether spell.
Boom and company are smoked up right now. Looking for an initiation. They'll find Mind Control. And he is totally surrounded and bursted down. Another charge on that Finger of Death. It's Viking again, showing the initiative here.
Yeah, they had that good ward set up. The Nigma D wards barely missed it. And see, this smoke, they smoke to their ward. It feels a lot better. If you just smoke into an aggressive area, you need any advantage you can get. Last time it felt a bit like they didn't have any purpose. This one, easy ward, easy kill into axe, and now, you know, Nigma, they don't have the Manta timing anymore.
Yeah, of course, Nigma were in the wild cards for the Major and played extremely well throughout the tournament.
Reload.
As we're going to see, RP is going to connect. It's going to be onto 3, but the Aeon Disc does pop for Miracle, which provides him the hard dispel, but GH gets completely blown up. It will be a trade for the Lion, but it looks like everybody else for Nigma will be able to retreat in time.
That was some sick timing coming out from Boom. It results in a 1-to-1, but only because Miracle's Aeon Disc barely procced before Lion got off that Impale.
Right.
That would have been a 3-man Impale, and very likely IO and the Morphling dying there.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big cooldown overall, as we can see the RP fake there from Boom, but there's the Aeon Disc being procced. And yeah, that... see why Miracle picked it up so early, and so many players picking that item up early.
Miracle is just being such a nuisance on the map. Even when his Aeon Disc is down, he's just cutting waves beside the Viking base.
Yeah, we saw... who was that at the Major that was really good? It was Toronto-Tokyo was going ham.
Yeah, he went travels on puck and split push every wave, every game.
Yeah, he was doing
pretty
a really
well
good job. As Kuro is 50 gold away from the Shard AUI. I am too. The little purple...
I've actually never seen this thing
really
used. Yeah.
I've seen it once, I think.
Does it do damage, or is it just a slow and disarm? Because the tooltip says no damage.
Well, what do you mean? Oh, the actual spell itself? Yeah, I don't think it does damage, but I could be wrong. It is a tooltip, so...
Yeah, we don't deserve to know what our spells do.
You have to buy it to find out. That's the way it happens. Oh, Chad! Oh, the Chronosphere onto 1. It's going to be GH taking a tumble. Perhaps looking for ILTW as well, but he was just outside of range. So they have to be happy with that. 40 seconds, no GH.
If IO didn't have the shard, he would have caught Morphling in that. Because he barely walked out. You get the 10% move speed. Like, they saw him clipped on the ward, right? So, like, in your head, you're trying to calculate where they'll be. And he's just off because of the extra move speed.
All right, well, they're going to use this opportunity to try to go for Roche. Of course, it's just an IO. They're going to scan, does Team Nigma, so they know. This is the second Roche, of course.
They have the ward
shard available.
And IO has no buyback.
That is true. 10 seconds. Shiva's finally delivered to Kezu. My God, ILTW has to be careful. They're going to turn this around with the finger of death. They take out Kuroki. Oh, inside the pit, though, the snatch from Shad. So Team Nigma get the actual Roche kill. Okay, well, that's some XP, some gold. Now, who got the cheese and the shard is the question. Looks like the shard did go to Shad, so he's going to have the reverse time walk.
Did they get the cheese as well there? Magnus has a cheese on him.
Yeah, so they get everything other than the kill on Roche, which
that's unfortunate.
Doesn't really matter that much, right?
Yeah, I mean, it used to matter a lot back when it was like 1,000 EXP and 200 each for the kill, but it's not, the kill is much less than the map control and team fight you'll get from the items now.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with Shad taking the shard?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have we had the conversation about the reverse time walk?
I think it's amazing.
You get the 400 range, which is great.
Yeah.
And then tell me about the reverse time walk aspect to it. Like, what do you like about it?
I mean, it just lets you... The range is more important.
Oh, you're going to have to hold those horses, young man. We're going to have to relocate. Okay, you can start talking again.
Oh, wait. They're going to set up for this.
Yeah, they're going back in. Shad gets the time dilation off onto GH. There's the RP. It's only onto the Morphling, who'd already popped his attribute shift. They're going to try to get GH. They'll do so successfully. Of course, the relocate, not the greatest. Is now ILTW getting pressured. Into the trees he goes. He's going to get skewered back out. Another time dilation to follow. Do they have the damage to finish him off? It looks like the answer to that is yes. Double kill for Shad. In the meantime, Mind Control dies in the mid lane, and now Kuro getting chased by Kezu, who has a shard of his own, so he's breathing fire.
Kezu's build this game is so good. He's just completely destroying this game.
Yeah, with that Chakram into the Whirling Death. 4 dead, and Viking lose nobody. But Miracle again, pushing out these lanes, trying to be the nuisance that you were talking about.
They do have Wagon on bottom, so Putt cannot push that out. What were we talking about before that big fight happens where Viking just obliterated Nigma?
Was it the Shad?
Oh, the Shard.
Shard?
Yeah, the Shad Shard. I think it's really good. I mean, you can sort of fake Chronos. You can like force out BKBs with it. It's impossible to catch him. Eventually you'll get Aghanim's. But most importantly, I think the 400 range just lets you play Dota like a normal hero.
Right.
You used to have to go Blink Dagger on Faceless Void before talents were added. And once talents got added, you could just take the range. But then they moved it from a talent to the Shard. So now you need a Shard eventually.
Yeah, I think the 400 range is pretty freaking huge for sure.
I think shards in general, giving them to your cores, just sort of multiplying the net worth on your 1 position and 2 position is generally like the correct path to take.
I think if it's like somewhat close in power spike is like...
Yeah, exactly.
If there's a support that is like way better though, I feel like you probably give it to
It's just like supports, you don't have that many items to buy and you have a lot of gold dispatch, so eventually you'll get your shard.
Like you could argue Aramis's shard was like really good value this game to pick up.
Aramis is shard?
Yeah, the
Lion
BKB.
I don't think it's that good this game.
Really?
I think it's a bit overrated. It's really strong. It's one of the best shards, but I feel like people just rush it. Like this game, I like his items a lot more. I don't think the shard does anything from here. He doesn't want to stand still in these fights and mana drain.
Fair enough. And GH with that Ghost Scepter, gonna be forced out as Shad jumping in. He actually wants to get this kill. Looks like he'll be successful with the Chronosphere. It's gonna connect on the Mind Control as well, who's just trying to help out his little buddy. Seller is there. Don't think they're going to be able to follow this up, though. But they do get the kill onto GH. 40 seconds on the deck. It does have buyback, though.
That was fancy footwork there. That was a shard. He jumped back offensively.
Yeah, you never know if he's going to jump back or not. The mind games are real. Shad.
Look at that. Free courier, jumps back.
All right, that worked out pretty well. I like it.
Having more options in Dota is good, right? Like, just in general. So if you can do something, it gives you an option to outplay them or more tools.
And Viking able to get that tier 3 tower, looking for the melee racks here.
I don't know how they're supposed to kill this Faceless Void. He had Scotty and he went for the lifesteal on Satanic, as I said, and he's a beast.
Yeah, anytime, even if you get the silence now, you just dispel it with Satanic.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot how broken that was.
Yeah, that item is redonkulous now. Absolutely. He's going to jump in, but they know he doesn't have Chronosphere. They're not going to be too scared. Doesn't have Aghanim Scepter either, so you're not going to get that bash. As we can see, top lane getting a little bit pressured right now by the illusions of ILTW. But
look,
Midrax.
The
stun! The GH Shard turning out to be pretty value there at least, but we're going to see on the other side here. Looking for Miracle. Oh, he might be in some trouble. Gets the coil out, but the Finger of Death blows him up. 70 seconds of no Miracle. And Shad just continuing to go ham here. He's going to get Berserker call, but he is more than healthy. Still has the Aegis intact. This is going to be a second Rax for Viking.
You do have ILTW. He's pushing pretty fast top with that Butterfly and IL relocating even.
Yep, that's true. We're going to see the skewer here onto Mind Control, see if they can finish him off as well. Basically in enemy territory right now. You can see ILTW getting some help from GH in the meantime, but Mind Control easily going to get right-click down right now by Boom. Shockwave finishes him off. So double racks for Viking. You can see the Aegis was finally expired here. And all Nigma could get was that tier 3 tower top. Did a little bit of damage to the melee, but that's about it. Chronosphere back up at 35 seconds. Remember, no puck for quite a while now. As there's the RP into the skewer onto 2 heroes, and GH is dead again. Does have buyback, though. Double kill for Boom. RP, actually, still down. ILTW has that BKB, but he's just going to get bashed down into oblivion. GG is called, and Viking take a sliver of... I feel like they were up by just a bit, like 1K, 2K, but they're able to just amplify that into an absolute stomp towards the end.
Yeah, I think they really hit the timing. In contrast, I think Nigma, they got the blink there on Axe. They didn't really do anything with it. I think maybe a little bit of exhaustion. They played a lot of games at the major. Meanwhile, Viking are fresh and ready to go. But they were impressive. They played really well that game. Specifically, I think Kezu. I think all his items and positioning were on point. He defended every tower he needed to. He went, I think, what were the correct items? I could be wrong. I don't play that much Timber, but very on point by them.
Now, a lot of people were talking about how Nigma were, quote-unquote, even they said it themselves, that they were kind of figured out at the major. Obviously, Viking are going to try to replicate what they saw at the major, try to beat them. Do you think that has anything to do with this, or is this just potentially a one-off?
Maybe. I mean, they did ban the Invoker. I think Miracle... I'm not
Is
sure
that all that
correct,
needs to be done?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like more than Viking countering them in the draft, I think Nigma had the draft to win this game already. If they just put Axe safe lane against Timbersaw, we saw Ame completely destroy Ice in that matchup.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they have the Morphling mid versus Magnus. Morphling favorite matchup, you're going to have high tempo on a carry and just pick an offlane that wins the game. I think they have the draft to succeed, but maybe they're thinking a bit behind. Maybe they didn't get to watch those finals because they're flying or something. I don't actually know.
I mean, they didn't even know they were participating in this tournament until today.
Apparently not.
But we'll see what the panel has to say, as this was only game 1 of this best of 3.
It's only game 1, but like you heard from the panel, if you look at the past 2 weeks, Nigma have been playing quite a few games. Maybe a little bit of stamina issues right now, but also Viking GG looking fantastic. Gonna go to a break, and when we return, we will break down this first game of the series.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
Oh boy, is it looking spicy already. Series number 2, and we got an upset, at least in the first game. Viking GG taking it over Nigma. Team that doesn't even show up to the Animator. Team that was in lower division. Finally taking games off of this team. It's happening. And it's happening quite cleanly as well. Lacoste, what'd you think about this first game coming out from Viking?
Very solid performance by them, especially by Kezu on the Timbersaw. From the game that I've seen in the lower division, Season 2, he's been the most stable guy. Whenever I, see Kezu, I think about Carpal Tunnel. He posted a video on Twitter when he's playing a bristleback and just QW. And every single time I see Kezu, this is my first initial thought. Oh yeah, here you go.
This is how you play bristleback. Well, after you get the scepter. Otherwise, you need to do some left clicks. Otherwise, every once in a while. Otherwise, it's just tap, 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 tap.
Well, you just don't skill that ability until you get the scepter.
There we go. There we go.
It's too hard to press 3 buttons instead of 2.
Rest in peace, old Skeleton King builds. I just needed one thing, Q. That was it.
Those were the days, weren't they? He was horrible. He was the worst.
He was a trash can hero.
Yeah.
And what was a good hero in this game, though, was the Magnus. I was skeptical. I was thinking that this doesn't seem like the last pick that would bring them success, but with the Void Jenkins, it worked out quite well.
Yeah, I think one thing that we saw in the Animator with the Magnus, and something we saw with the Mars too, that I really like about both of these heroes is the repositioning element that can be really destructive in fights. Like, you just think, oh, this is a good play that we're making. All of a sudden, you're in a tier 3, and it's like, okay, this is no longer a good play. Tiny, the same thing. Even though the hero has been nerfed 10 times in a row, we still see it getting picked up a lot because he can do this, and Mag can do that as well.
Yeah, repositioning is quite useful, especially when you got an IO pairing, and the IO pairing for Nigma in this game was the Morphling, and looks like this Morphling never really got off the ground, as we're going to find out with Purge.
Thanks, Tsunami. Yeah, Morphling had a bit of a rough game here. Got first blooded right off at the start of the laning stage. Initial stun from Aramis to get some damage in. They were rotating heroes over to predict the lanes, and as a result, they just took a little bit too much right clicks and a couple too many nukes here. Kezu getting another last hit here while getting a nuke in on ILTW. Aramis' stun is off cooldown here, so they end up getting the first blood right in the laning stage, which already puts Timbersaw in a pretty firm position. And because Kuro felt the need to run over to help out, that means that he's not blocking the large camps. So when the camps end up spawning, it gives Aramis some time to get pulls going. Kezu is able to zone Kuro. He doesn't get to mess up the pull. We fast forward a little bit here. As a result, they're able to pull this creep wave together and basically just keep creeps away from Morphling, keeping him pretty consistently behind in the laning stage, which hurts him a lot. And normally the way that you catch up is that your heroes end up rotating over to end up helping you, but he just continues getting pressured. So if Puck rotates over and doesn't get kills, it's basically worst case scenario, because you're supposed to catch up in levels and gold by the help from this guy rotating. But because he doesn't get this kill and ultimately ends up dying, it just looks worse and worse for ILTW. He ends up pushing the top lane, then they rotate over with Magnus. This is the first RP. They use Finger of Death to kill him. Just pretty bad looking game for ILTW off the bat. And he can eventually shift over to kill some Ancients and things like that. But what happens is Celery moves over to try to put some wards down to spot this out. Look how long it takes for them to actually kill Celery here. That was just under the 14-minute mark. He could have been hitting Ancients this whole time successfully. When Celery finally dies, how much gold does ILTW get? He gets about 60 gold from the assist gold. Look how much time he has wasted just chasing them around. And that's basically the story of all these early fights for ILTW. He shows up in these fights, he's trying to help, but there's never more than like one support dying. That's not a lot of support gold. That's not a lot of experience. And even though he's helping and trying to get some stuff done, not enough is accomplished, and LTW just consistently behind as a result of that rough laning stage, which makes it hard for him to catch up.
That poor Morphling getting dragged around everywhere. Appreciate that Purge, and maybe Nigma might be able to turn around for game number 2. I mean, we've known this team to have plenty of tricks up their sleeve. Gonna go to a break, and when we return, we will continue the series.
heartbeat beat super fast. You make me move, you make me dance. You make my heartbeat beat super fast. Stop what you're doing, get in the moment. Yeah, you can do it. Stop what you're doing, get in the moment. Yeah, you can do it. Stop what you're doing, get in the moment. Yeah, you can do it. Stop what you're doing, get in the moment. Yeah, you can do it. 조심조심 부끄러워하지 말고 어서 빨리 용기 내 말해봐. 언제까지 내가 널 기다려준다는 그런 착각은 하지 마. 지금까지 만났던 사람들 하나가
Viking versus Nigma. Game number 2 underway. Oh, they do color the heroes differently. I was wondering. Okay, so I guess Viking is like a gray colored team, and Nigma is like purple blue. Because there was definitely some red colored heroes in our first series, which was OG versus Gambit. So, all right, I'm keeping my eye out. I appreciate the thematic aesthetic of that. Make sure that everything feels unique.
Yeah, we'll be completely honest here. Those the Viking heroes looked like walking corpses. Not looking too healthy. It was like, should go to the doctor.
It was like noir, Dota noir.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, not so good.
Well, I mean, this guy, he for winning. Not in a very
it looks
good
like
mood.
he lost. Looks like he lost 13 pubs in a row in a single day. Doesn't seem too happy.
Are you ever happy whenever you have a Razor on your team?
I do. I like Razor. I think he is a very underrated pick overall. I think we should see more of him because whenever I see Razor, my biggest concern for Razor in the past was he doesn't scale. Like even when he had AoE farming ability, now his passive only gives him move speed. Icerock, please make this something good. You might need to tweak the numbers a bit, but yeah. Looks good. Like, he really scales well. Sometimes you even see Razor on the top of the network, which is pretty impressive. This time around, they open up with Io and Gyro. Standard pairing. Gives them a bit more damage early on, I would say, compared to the previous one with the Morphling. They can play a bit more aggressive, and it also not necessarily shuts down the Timbersaw pick, but something that Timber doesn't like to play into.
Yeah, so I think Viking, going back to the Razor, I think you're pretty okay playing the Razor into Gyro. It's one of those heroes that can latch onto him, and even through the typical like Aghanim Satanic, Razor's perfectly okay with you doing that to him, going on you like that because you just suck his damage and he does nothing. He doesn't Satanic. With that being said, the thing with the Io Gyro that was always so annoying is that these heroes innately farm so incredibly fast that no matter what counter you pick, there is always a way to win with these heroes. And the fact that you can split push and be at every single fight. Like, it gives you map presence, and it also gives you the ability to farm and just have more items than the heroes that quote-unquote counter you.
You can't allow to play passive with Io Gyro. You need to have heroes that can invade the enemy triangle and like be more aggressive, potentially steal the farm from him. Right now, Nigma is just protecting the Gyro, betting out the Morphling, one of the best counters to Gyro. You have so much attack speed, turn into Gyro, flag cannon all around. So no surprise there. Enchantress and Mars being banned out by Viking in the second phase.
Yeah, good
Mars at the start of the major looked amazing. Like, he was picked every single game.
I think he still ended the tournament as the most picked hero of the entire tournament.
Lion. Yeah, Lion was the most picked hero with the 52% win rate. The second one was Mars. But still very strong hero. I think in the middle of the major, teams started to not go for the Mars in the first phase.
Yeah, which is strange because I don't think it ever looked that bad. Then again, the meta did kind of shift around as the major progressed. Near the end, we had a lot of disengage, a lot of heroes that were specifically designed to just bait fights. You had like the Winter Wyvern, which would holy lock at somebody, you know, heal them with the Cold Embrace, turn the fight around with the ultimate. You had Enchantress, who was specifically walking in to try to, you know, tank abilities such as the Mars Arena. So maybe just playing into those heroes feels kind of bad, but even with these picks, you know, the IO getting picked up first phase, like this is quite different from the major.
Only because Vikings letting it through, though. I feel like nearly every single team was first phase banning IO against Nigma.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But maybe the question is, like, what would this IO have looked like at the major? Would it even have been good? Would it fit that kind of a counter-initiation, disengage meta?
Which I
he's good at resetting. Like, he's good at getting people out of the trouble, healing. IO wants to have these drawn-out fights. Same goes for Gyro. Like, he's not a hero that commits with one big ulti, doesn't rely on a cooldown. So something that Nigma really did well during the major is, like, even though they had Luna, Dragonite, these are fairly high cooldown. They tend to, like, have one of the cooldown and then still keep playing aggressively throughout the mid game, which I really liked about Team Nigma. But I've been impressed by Viking. I've been really impressed the way they played in game number 1. Not too many mistakes being made.
I'm kind of surprised that there's quite a few heroes that have made it through that just were super contested at the major. Even in this series, like Lion, where's Lion? You know, that was getting first phase all the time. Winter Wyvern, where's this hero? We see the Enchantress getting banned. That's kind of the other hero. Phoenix as well. These like Holy Locket type heroes. But a lot is getting through. Oh, there's the Phoenix.
And they ban out the Juggernaut as well. So one of the egg hitters taken out. Good synergy with Sunray and IO. And Viking will find a different solution to the Phoenix.
Yeah, just by looking at their heroes on Dota buff, it says, yeah, we're going to pick this Snapfire. We'll love to play it. Even after all the nerfs, the hero still feels very strong, brings a lot of utility to the table, brings you the damage that you need, sometimes like tower damage, even opens up the Roche. Great against the Egg, level 1 ulti, of course. Level 1 Little Shredder kills level 1 Egg if you just use all 6 attacks, so that's going to be great. IO plus Phoenix, you don't have a way of protecting the egg, so you need some kind of stuns. This is very abusable, in my opinion. Any spirit, anything that can cut into backlines. If you want to put this Razor on a mid lane, maybe something like a Spectre, being able to jump the Gyro, jump the backlines, and the last pick, one of the spirits for Viking. Well, maybe not. They can't have too many heroes on the mid lane, my bad, if Razor is mid. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Spectre.
It blocks a lot, and I think the Razor also blocks a lot of offlane picks, because you don't know if this is going to be some safe lane Razor. They could even run like Kezu playing safe lane and do some sort of like dual aggro try. But you want to pick like some sort of Centaur, tiny, Axe-esque hero right now to protect the egg.
For Nigma.
For Nigma, yeah. I think if you're Nigma, you absolutely want something to protect the egg, especially now that the Snapfire came out. I think that's likely why they're taking so long to pick this, because with the Snap, you don't want to just let the egg die to that hero. You want to have some sort of punish for Snap walking in. Okay, never mind. They go for the Lina instead.
So they think this Razor is mid. Lina matches up nicely. They could still swap things around, but I believe they're just gonna let Razor be on the mid lane, and I would love Spectre. Like, Spectre just feels really nice against all of these heroes.
I agree. I think Spectre's really good, to the point where, like, if they don't pick it here, Nigma's probably going to ban it out. It just seems too good. It's a little awkward to pick here just because. Okay, Storm, similar idea. You wanted some sort of like backline assassin.
So we don't know where Razor is gonna go. They still don't know the matchup, but I mentioned one of the spirits, very easy to kill. One of these two supports. They have no defensive mechanism whatsoever.
During Pinnacle Cup, Kezu was primarily the Razor player.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays like the mid offlaners, and Boom was actually playing some of these like Mars mids, which is strange because then in the very next game, Boom was just some Storm Spirit or Lina with like Daedalus. The guy always goes like incredibly greedy items, and both of the side laners always play really aggressive.
Did you mention Sanking? I think Vikings should ban it out.
Sanking would be good, yeah.
They need the low cooldown stun. I think they need someone to set things up for a possible relocate plays and be able to protect the egg. So Axe fits the profile.
Yeah.
Yo, how about Nature's Prophet Sprout the Supernova?
Bam.
That's so good.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's so good.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You do have a fair amount of things that can get vision inside the Sprout, but...
I think they misclicked Dragon Knight. That was meant to be Nature's
Yeah,
Prophet.
of course, yes. Other offlaners, indeed, the ones that were most popular, Axe and DK banned out. Meanwhile, Nigma banning out a Centaur, because I guess they're not 100% sure where this Razor might be going. I guess they think that it could be a safe lane Razor, and they ban out the Faceless Void as well, if it is an offlane Razor.
We see that quite often recently, where you don't necessarily ban two same roles, you just ban out heroes that you don't want to play against. So we have a Faceless Void, we have a Centaur being banned out by Team Nigma, and Ursa. Okay, so another egg hitter, and another guy that jumps on top of Gyrocopter. Go ahead, Jenkins.
Now they really need something to protect the egg. Like, this is... It's to the point where you just sack the Phoenix. Like, this is, you're not going to egg in any fight.
Yeah, so then why bother protecting it now? How about just focus on something else?
Because I think if they don't have they're not going to win team fights if they don't use the egg or have something equivalent.
True.
They need lockdown in general too. So I feel like if you're going to get lockdown, you may as well get something that also protects the egg.
This is a good-looking draft from Viking.
Okay.
Where are these heroes going?
Off lane Lesh, I believe. Mid Lina.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken.
It is going to be a mid Lina and off lane Lesh. Good call.
It's a crazy draft. They don't have any setup.
That's true. I would love this to be something more tanky. Leshrac could potentially build into these tanky items. We've seen different stuff, either Pipe, Guardian Greaves, but I like Viking. I like what they got. I talked about them having 3 Agi cores. It's not necessarily Agi. 2 of them are, but you also have a Storm Spirit who can scale. They have ways to set things up. 2 supports who can't really defend themselves. You have a Sunray, you have a Relocate, but I don't think it's going to be enough. In my opinion, Lina and Leshrac, they do the same job until Lina gets 1 damage item.
I do think Nigma's draft is really interesting, though, because I think that all of their heroes have some sort of I think the Gyro, the Lina, and the Lesh all can play on their own. It's not a reliable thing, but if they can come out of the lanes ahead, I think they could snowball with these heroes. They all scale incredibly well, and they can take towers really fast between the Leshrac tower damage and then the Gyro and Io just healing. So I think, as well as the Phoenix. I think go either way. I'll go Nigma.
Okay, but you're saying that the lanes might go well, but are you just because Viking won the lanes pretty hard in game number 1?
They did, but I think these heroes have the ability to win lanes. It's not easy. It's like a high risk, high reward sort of draft, which is cool. I like to see that.
Lacoste, how about you? Which way you leaning?
I'm leaning towards Viking. I like that they are not allowing Phoenix to play the game with Snapfire and Ursa, and they also rely on no cooldowns this game, so they can keep the pace of Nigma. If they want to fight, they'll be fight ready.
And if they want to win, they only need to do 1 more game to continue moving forward. Let's pass it over to our casters, AUI and SunsFan.
Thank you, panel. Game 2 of this best of 3. Loser of this series faces... Oh, we don't know yet. They go to the lower bracket. But the winner plays T1.
Ooh, that's a rough one, actually.
Absolutely. So, yeah, let's just get into the game because it has begun. Curtis, what do you think of these lines? The panel was talking about how the egg killers have come in full force for Viking.
In theory, Viking should have a way better draft. I think if Nigma don't win the lane super hard, I don't understand how they play Dota. You have Lina Leshrac. Your one position has to frontline, but you're trying to frontline against Ursa Razor. He gets linked, there is no frontline anymore.
Right.
Celery has 3 sentries on him, which I find pretty cool. Bought out the entire stock at the start of the game.
Okay, sure.
I think that's good because if they can stop the pull from happening top, you just keep centering the hard camp, you trade sentries, Ursa should be able to farm perfectly fine on their tower. Phoenix and Leshrac both don't have high enough damage to really deny him. He has a Quelling Blade. And Abaddon can just heal him up. And they can't really play... they should play top to not lose. Nigma, on the other hand, they need top to snowball. If Mind Control can take this tower, I can see their lineup pushing forward across the map. You have this really fast Io Gyro winning their lane. And you have the Leshrac.
Yeah, I feel like their draft, it means you have to play fast, which they didn't really do. I mean, we talked about it last game where they got that Blink Dagger and Mind Control and just didn't do anything with it.
Ooh, they do secure 3 bounce runes.
Okay.
Good start.
Yep, good start indeed.
Yeah, it feels a bit like Nigma's, their drafts are very high execution. I just feel like if they're on form, they can make this work. But it doesn't look that easy.
Okay. So
very cool.
Oh, we're gonna see the link up from Kezu already, starting out here on ILTW as Armis.
And Armis, he takes the third shot instantly, kills a rocket. That's 20 XP for his team and 50 gold. That's a nice start.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah,
right.
I'm surprised they got rocket in this lane versus Snapfire, because he will kill it every time instantly. They don't have any stuns to make it work.
Yeah, they have, I guess we didn't even talk about the homing missile killers as well on their team.
I feel like you should have got flak level 1 and then 2 in Q, and you just keep flak in 2 range shields. They don't have snow shields. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, Aojao is a very strong lane regardless of what you do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here, Curtis, and say that ILTW will not die at level 1.
That is hopeful. Hopefully, because if he does...
Yeah, I feel like it's not as bold with a Morphling either. I feel like that's pretty difficult to do so, but...
Morphling is weak at level 1. I think Jar... Okay, so everything I said was completely wrong. They managed to get the rocket off. Thank you, Vikin. Let's look at a different lane so I don't have to focus on that.
Fair enough. All right, top lane we have Shad, of course, on the Ursa with Celery's... I mean, he's played an amazing Abaddon. I feel like he was legitimately the MVP last game. He died a few times, but it was Nigma that were just being forced to initiate on him, it feels like.
Look at this European meta between these two teams. They've both blocked each other's small caps because they know they both want to shove the lane and farm it. And then they've even blocked the Ancients. Like, that's what some of those sentries are for.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah. As Boom is getting harassed big time in the mid lane right now. Miracle has the CS advantage to start this game out, and we've seen how that goes.
Boom did get his bottle before Lina, though, so he is going to secure a water rune.
Okay. Yeah, as the water runes now will be spawning, so see if Miracle can pressure out Boom a little bit more. Continue to right-click as we see the static link into the cookie. Actually does connect. Kezu gets off some damage and will secure some last hits as a result of that static link. Looks like GH still keeping ILTW in a very healthy spot right now in this bot lane.
In ILTW, he does take that flat cannon at level 2, so they're playing a little bit of the harass game. I think he's going to spam it out here. Not sure, maybe not. I'm just lying to the viewers here.
Yeah,
but I'd like to see that. There we go. He's just, you know, flat cannon. You look at it, it's 160 damage for 50 mana. If you just keep using on 2 heroes, like if you keep using it, you will win the sustain war.
It's definitely a good spell. Remember back in the day when Gyro was just considered a... Oh, see that Rocket Barrage go to work onto Aramis. He's getting pretty low. Has to pop the Fairy Fire to live. And now Kezu getting pressured out. So you can see that Nigma already off to a way better start in this bot lane than last time around.
Aojao is just so strong in lane. They added this overcharge. It does everything. It gives you spell amplification, attack speed, regen. So it works really well with Gyrocopter because there's both sources of damage.
You don't get status resist though.
You do not get status resist.
That's going to be the next.
It also doesn't kill the enemy thrown instantly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So not quite everything, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not too shabby.
What were you saying back in the day about Gyrocopter?
Back in my day, I don't even remember anymore.
Very old. Your memory's failing.
That's true. That's true. All right,
Kuro,
Mind Control. Looks like they're, I mean, Mind Control CS is extremely good in this lane versus Shad. He's actually doubled up, essentially, in terms of just the last hits.
Yeah, I feel like Leshrak's pretty uncontested this lane. People think Ursa's a good laner because back in his, like, old Ursa days, he'd be really strong. But this hero applies no pressure, especially to a range show.
And Miracle, in the meantime, has the level advantage to start this game as the LSA will connect, but Armis is here, gets the cookie off, and the minus armor coming through, but it's not going to matter. Miracle just decimates Boom. And that is a huge kill for Team Nigma. The LSA is not going to connect here, but the right-click damage will be, I mean, yeah, we got the Aphotic Shield anyway. So Celery making a nice rotation over, but that means Shad is all alone in this top lane, so he has to be extremely careful.
Nigma's planned to block the small camp. I mean, they both did it, but Nigma, they've unblocked their own and kept the enemy one. No, they both unblocked it. Never mind. These teams are just on top of it. But I feel like this lane's very hard for Storm now. Lina basically can solo zone him from the lane. He always has threat with that Laguna.
Yeah, it's this 2-level advantage right now. We hit level 5 here.
We saw there, like, even for these ganks, when GA, he's going to pick up an RTV scroll soon. He has on his Cur. He can always TP mid. Just give Miracle that little boost of mana and move speed, and they'll be able to kill Storm. It's a very high threat combo. And this is how Nigma need to play this game to win. They need to get kills, they need to snowball the lanes.
Yeah, it was a good attempt to Cookie here. Boom. Maybe a little bit of a mistake here, continuing to aggro as he just gets destroyed. But, I mean, this game, you talked about bottom lane, Kezu, applying some pressure on ILTW in the meantime. That's a lot of damage with that static link. Can GH actually keep him alive is the question. The Fog of War comes into play. Does get the plasma field off, so now GH in a little bit of trouble, but they will live.
They have that tether hedges region. Maybe they'll go farm some neutrals for a bit.
But you talked about how Team Nigma would have to get off to a good laning start. Is this good enough? This is pretty freaking good overall.
Miracle is outplaying them really hard for bottom lane.
Cookie again. Lots of damage onto ILTW. That means Viking gets themselves their first kill of the game finally in this bot lane.
And I feel like that was their lane that was supposed to default win. Like, you need the Gyrocopter auto to win their lane. Especially versus 2 range heroes. It should be free.
Yeah, Miracle has just created so much space for himself now. Still, no level 6 quite yet on Storm.
I feel like Gyro should TP mid here. Refill Lina's bottle, and they should take this tower. He goes for the TP bot, but I feel like Sumail would do that. He would want to take this tower together.
Even at level 4?
Yeah,
just hit
you should
5
just
now.
do it. Like, you're not pressuring. I was going to get full EXP bottom. You don't need this. Like, if you can create some pressure, make sure your Lina has a good start to move off the lane, it would have been really cool to see.
Right. But yeah, back to my question. Is this a good enough start for Nigma, you think?
Not if Gyro's dying like that. But, I mean, they can still win, because, like, there's... Like, when I talk about the draft like that, like, in my head, it's with everyone playing even, right? So you always have the opportunity to outplay your opponent. And Nigma have shown they're more than capable of doing that. I mean, they played very well at the Major.
Yep, for sure.
Ooh, I like this ward, too, on the high ground cliff in their own jungle, on Nigma's side. It lets you flak. When you flak off the small camp, you can hit the medium camp as well. Just a little bit of extra efficiency.
Min-max.
It lets you stack as the IO too. So it's just very nice to have that word. You can actually drag the hard camp over and hit all through a flak.
Yeah, Boom, of course, now level 6. Has the Arcane Rune in tow. So you see if he tries to use this to try to gank somebody. Of course, it's going to be pretty difficult to kill Miracle without some help. As we can see the lane creep gold discrepancy between the 2 mids right now. That's pretty gigantic in favor of Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, most of
LFA into Laguna Blade. That's a freebie onto Aramis for Miracle. Just wrong place, wrong time.
I didn't see that. He just walked up the hill, huh? The same as Celery last game, except Celery had Abaddon out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's the big difference, right? I mean, once Celery hits 6, we'll see if he can create as much space as he did last game, but obviously Nigma 2K advantage. It was basically flip-flop last game. I feel like Viking had a 1-2K advantage at this stage, so.
I mean, Miracle keeps farming like this all the way to Scepter. I think Nigma have every possibility to like outplay their opponent and snowball still. The panel talked about how this Phoenix egg is unprotected, but it is actually pretty hard to hit the egg. Like, if you're trying to hit a Snapfire, you're just going to die to flax.
Right, we can see the Enrage come off here with the gank from Boom onto Mind Control. Split Earth was being faked, but in the end, Viking able to take off Mind Control.
Oh, that's a clutch kill. Viking, they've been very good at identifying that they have some weakness on the map, right? Like, top lane's getting pressured, mid lane's getting pressured. They don't just sit in both lanes. They consolidate the resources. They bring Storm top. All of a sudden, you have top pressure instead of being pressured in 2 lanes. Just a very nice theoretical move.
As you can see, Celery now getting rid of a sentry there and blocking the Ancients as well. As Kezu, all right, homing missile with the call down coming down. Rocket Barrage to follow. This looks like more than enough damage to take out Kezu. And meanwhile, Celery takes a Laguna Blade to the face. Stun Ray to follow. Looks like it will at least get the Abaddon, but Boom doing so much damage. Kuroki, of course, not level 6 yet, but this is the big kill. Nice cookie on top of his face. You just had too many cookies, Curtis? I don't think so. You're not fat enough for that.
Oh, you just wait. Give me a bit. To be honest, I gotta commend Boom here. He had such a hard lane. You know, sometimes you get outplayed in lane. It happens. Sometimes you get ganked, something goes wrong. In most of my pubs, they run down mid. Boom. He's killed top, he's killed mid. He's made so much space for his team, even though he's from a weakened position. Just absolute stellar play.
It's amazing what you can do when you don't give up right away, right? That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Man.
Like, the thing is, everyone in your bracket, they're equally as bad as you at Dota. So you should believe in how bad you are and realize that they'll make mistakes.
That's true. It's kind of hard to convince your teammates sometimes, I will say.
Yeah, because everyone who plays Dota, they should know how bad they are. Just remember, everyone's as bad as you.
That's right. That's the first step of the grieving process, basically, right? Is denial that you're...
grieving process.
I mean, playing Dota is a long-stage grieving process.
Oh, just so much pain and untold horrors.
Indeed. Oh,
all right, they have the IO6 now.
Yeah, but good news for Viking. I didn't see this earlier, but the Fairy Trinket is on Boom. That's good. Considered the S tier of the neutral ones.
You said that, and I instantly clicked on Ursa to see if he got that Possessed Mask. He doesn't have it quite yet.
Oh.
He opted for the Ocean Heart.
Yeah. Wait, they actually have Possessed Mask?
I don't know how to check.
They didn't actually drop it. Celery taking some damage. Looks like he will fall, as you debated our observer into missing that kill. We knew it was coming out. But no, he has the Morbid Mask. The Possessed Mask did not drop, so they didn't get the double whammy.
It's a skill issue, usually.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, mind control.
Reload
All right, we have the cookie. Shad did some damage, but he sees the relocate like you said, and now ILTW here with that homing missile and the flak cannon. Just want to get this tier 1 tower. Question is, can Viking defend? Do they want to defend? Looks like GH and company going to get back. There's the initiation now. Boom. Knew this was coming. They're going to be able to take out GH right away. No. Has to expend a little bit more mana just to finish him off. Now ILTW getting chased with that static link. Mind control has made his way here, but it's too late. Double kill already for Boom. And now mind control. Can he get the return kill? Get the electric vortex. Finally, they will find Boom in the end. And now Kezu in a lot of trouble. See the Mortimer's kisses trying to help him out, but in the end, they will find that second kill for Team Nigma. They lose ILTW and GH, but they get 2 cores in return.
Really good response by Nigma there. They TP in, they punish it. You know, Miracle's just a beast this game. He's so high net worth. He's been involved in, well, 4 of their 7 kills, but it's looking good. The one thing going there for Viking, though, is that they removed the pressure on this top tower. During that time, Shadow was able to cut up Wagon and push the lane all the way out.
Yeah, very true. And now Shad is sporting that more. When do you like the Ursas to go for Roche, is my question to you. Is there a timing that you're like...
As soon as you can.
Like level 8 with Morbid Mass? That
nah, just
seems like the standard almost.
When you think... As soon as you think you can kill it, and it's uncontested, then you should try to kill it.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid, but it's like, it's hard to generalize that, right?
Right. As we see here, just a little replay overalls. The dive was successful.
You're not casting it?
I've learned my lesson. Just take it nice and slow, Mr. AUI 2000. So yeah, this was a good turnaround for Nigma. But then again, it did cost their position 1 their life. See GH very calm, cool, collected, and beautiful.
A little bit angry there, actually.
That's not... GH is not capable of anger. As Split Earth actually will connect onto Kezu, who's getting stun rate as well. A Photic Shield going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but not long enough. And now Celery might get dove. Still has the borrowed time to work with, though, so Team Nigma not wanting to go any further.
And during that recap, I think Lina managed to, like throughout this game, Lina's managed to 1v1 the mid tower lot, hit it down, and Mind Control just sort of walked up and edicted it. It let them sort of pierce the enemy triangle and get that kill.
And he's trying to do the same thing in the bot lane as well. We're going to see some TPs though from Viking. Both Boom and Armis. Yeah, I don't know if they can defend this. The dive actually comes in. They're going to spot out Armis, gets the cookie. LSA is going to connect. Boom actually jumps in, gets the electric vortex, but he's going to have to leave the old hag and her Mortimer mount to die.
Nigma, they're very good at hiding, you know? They're not showing on the map there, so
yeah. Normally
you think, oh, there's 5 heroes in a triangle, they're all bottom. Ursa should do Roshan, because that was my first thought. But I had to remind myself that I'm stupid and I can see everything, so they can't do that.
How dare they not see
How
everything?
dare they not see everything in their map packs?
Celery, Yules. We have the LSA and Split Earth combination available, but Celery's going to pop that borrowed time, and yeah, with 1 stun, this will ensure the kill onto Celery.
That was really funny to watch. Leshrac just didn't know whether he was stunning, Lita didn't know whether she was stunning.
We have the same
they got the kill,
basically.
but
yeah, well,
you don't usually see a Leshrac and Lina on the same team, right? They're sort of similar ideologically heroes.
Yeah, they don't have any like true setup per se, but now with the Yules they kind of do.
If you can just push forward on the map, though, I think it's good enough. You don't necessarily... Like, Nigma, they play a lot of low-stun lineups.
Yeah.
Very good at map control.
You can see the relocate. ILTW and GH want to defend this. Delay this tier 1 tower from falling. Flat cannon and whatnot. Take out this second wave. They're going to spot out Armis. The cookie's there, though. Can they kill GH? No. Relocate just in time. Back to the top lane with nobody with him. He's lonely now. I mean, this could be a potential good opportunity. Yeah, no TP as well.
I wanted to click him and saw he had no TP. I do like doing this as Ao, though. I bring my carry stone and leave him there so I can farm my...
Oh, we have LSA into Laguna Blade. It's actually enough damage to take out Armis. Now, Miracle takes some heavy damage, but looks like Boom is just going to get out of dodge. Has the homing missile coming. Looks like he'll be fine, but Viking definitely cannot get the trade here. Oh, they actually do find the Yules, though. Kezu, very nice Aphotic Shield from Celery will keep him alive. Oh, but the LSA connects. No, that's not the LSA, that's a Splitter. They're the same spell, essentially. Yeah. So they do find the off-lane Kezu.
If you hit 4 stuns in a row like that, you don't really need setup.
Yeah, he is hitting a lot of stuns.
I think Nigma, like when they're talking about this draft, Kuro just said to his players, just don't miss your stuns.
Yeah.
It's very good strategy.
I mean, if you don't hit your stun on Lesh or Lina, then you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So, like, there's now Shad. I believe the defusal, yeah, it is now online. 11 now, level 11.
Nigma, they've really managed to push forward on the map here. Like they have a 5k advantage basically out of nothing. I mean, they took mid tower and they just hunted down the Viking heroes.
And now they're looking at Roche.
Yeah, I didn't understand how good their lineup. Like if Miracle just farms apparently, then the Jao and Miracle get super farm. It's hard for Viking to make moves. I didn't really understand the draft. Obviously, these guys very high understanding.
It's just lucky, probably.
Yeah, like OG's TI win.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, Europe in general.
True, true. All right, Shad. Oh, Mortimer's Kisses is actually coming in. ILTW gets the Aegis, and Nigma get the Roche as well. The Aegis is going to be expended right away, and they're able to kill Miracle right off the bat. Now Mind Control looks to be next on the list, and they're going to turn this around pretty nicely. ILTW all alone inside that Roche pit, but here comes... Oh, the save was so close for GH, and now this is going to cost him his life in all likelihood, so it'll probably be 4 kills. They do give up Roche and the Aegis, but again... They get rid of it right away.
I understand their look
is dead.
I understood their lineup perfectly. This is what I expected. Like they're snowballing the map so well, but if you put them in a straight fight, right?
Right.
Like, they just. I didn't realize the fight was going to go so bad. I don't think they did either, of course, or they wouldn't have done it. But it's very hard for them to fight if the Ursa manages to get on the Lina. Because you don't have a proper frontliner versus Ursa and Razor. Like, Razor goes on your gyrocopter. He can't really stand and fight. Ursa kills anyone he wants. But we'll see. Like, Nigma, this game, they've done a really good job pushing creep waves and creating chaos so they can pick off heroes. Just hit random skill shots.
Yeah, that's true. And I think one silver lining of that play, although it's obviously they wouldn't have done that, but if they knew what was going to happen, is ILTW getting jumped now. Diffusal Blade being shown. GH doesn't have his ultimate to work with. That means ILTW is donezo. But what I was saying before that fight broke out, Curtis, is at the very least, you denied Ursa his Aegis.
That is true.
I mean, that's kind of a big... I mean, it feels like when you pick Ursa, it's almost a necessity to get Roche.
Yeah, same for TA, right? Some of these heroes are balanced around the fact that they do have higher Roshan potential.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, ILTW is going for a 4-staff. If someone did this in my pub...
What?
It's forbidden.
Is he going Hurricane Pipe?
Yeah, he is. It seems very low damage.
Wow.
I'm not too sure what his idea is. Maybe because of the lineup, they're just like, we just need to be able to kite the Ursa. Help Miracle out. I can actually see the logic and it makes sense. In a pub, it would never work because you don't help your teammates in pubs. You play for yourself.
Of course not, yeah.
But, you know, they won TI at some point, so
that's true. That's
they're
true.
Pretty high caliber players.
Yeah, that is really... I mean, he has Aghanim Scepter, so this will help him farm and do damage, but usually you go for like a Maelstrom or some sort of... Even a Satan, like literally anything that gives you some damage at least.
Because I think his job this game, he's realized, is that Leshrac does a lot of damage, Phoenix does a lot of damage, Lina does a lot of damage. So,
LSA from the high ground into Laguna Blade, but boom. Able to get out the Electric Vortex and the Zip away, but Mind Control in the meantime, well, he's going to have some backup. Celery does at least. They're going to turn this around to Mind Control in the end. So again, Celery creating all this space and ends up netting themselves a kill.
Didn't that feel really disjointed to you? Like, they have relocate. If you use Storm and they relocate, the Storm is dead. I guess he overestimated his damage a little bit, or
maybe.
like the comms are a bit off, but that's a little bit unfortunate.
And at the very least, ILTW will be able to take out this stack here. I mean, in terms of farm, Miracle's still top net worth on his team. Problem is that Ursa, even without that Roche, is farming out of control. And this is an Ursa, I mean, we've been seeing this lately, as of the last like month and a half, the Diffusal Blade. It's not a farming build at all. And the fact that he's top net worth, I think, is a pretty good sign, even though they're down by 3k right now.
I think he's just... Viking have done a phenomenal job of just protecting their jungle. We saw Jaro come in there after the last fight. He walks in, he just dies. We see MC, he tries to push forward too much, he just instantly dies. You get kills, you get gold. They're ready here to, again, you know, they have these wards set up. They just want to fight in their space.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're close to BKBs on Viking, though. I feel like this maybe not be the timing to fight. Both Razor and Ursa are BKB ready 200 gold. As soon as they get that, I think it's go time, though.
More stacks for ILTW. And yeah, we'll see how this Hurricane Pike works out. I mean, it's a way to get out of range of Static Link. It's a way to obviously kite the Ursa, but obviously Storm is not really affected too much by it.
Yeah, in my head, like, even if you build a 4-staff for a team item, there's no way you buy Pike. But I'm excited to see how it works out, because like when someone has a different idea than you, like you can't say whether you're right or wrong, right? Like you need to sort of see like why they made such a conclusion.
Right. As we have a smoke now on Viking onto 3. Oh, they're looking for Miracle. He's going to get jumped right off the bat with Shad coming in. That is a very quick and swift kill onto Miracle. 50 seconds on the deck. Now the jump in onto Kuroki is level 11, has the egg. Glimmer capes to safety for now, but Shad wants to get pretty deep, but GH ends up connecting. Now the dive to safety. Boom's going really deep, now applying all the pressure to GH. Mortimer's Kissers from afar, and they'll be able to take out GH in turn. So 2 kills in favor of Viking and the tier 1 tower.
Enigma, it's so hard to fight. If you're losing any one hero, it makes it harder to kite these heroes out. They really do have to outplay these fights. Like, they need an egg, and then, you know, you have both the Lina and Leshrac stun, so maybe some AoE. But it's looking a little rough.
Yeah, and we see the BKBs have been picked up on Viking now, like you were talking about. His Mind Control getting chased. Boom, doesn't have vision, has very little mana now, but does find Mind Control in the end. Plasma Field didn't connect, but Kezu and company, this should be enough of Mind Control. Does do a lot of damage in the meantime. But again, Viking getting the trade after trade that they're looking for. Although that's a trade for nothing, so I guess that's more them stealing the life.
Abaddon, no ulti.
Yeah, LSA. Oh, little missed time there for Miracle. He's hit pretty much all of them all game. But, okay, that's the trade, technically, across the map.
Yes.
But it's for Celery again, who is just continuing to
He does not
space.
care about his life on Abaddon. He just wants to see as much for his heroes so they can get their own timings. As soon as Ursa gets this Blink Dagger, it's going to become so hard to fight on Nigma's side. He's just going to blink on Miracle or blink on Leshrac, any core really, and you have to run from it. You can't fight into these BKBs. You have no damage. You have Leshrac and Lina. So we'll see. And that bottom kill on MC, Storm had like 500 mana, but he had an Arcane Rune, so he basically had like 2,000 mana.
Yeah, it's
pretty silly.
And Miracle's gonna be spotted out here, but Shad is just gonna continue to go ham on these creeps. He's going for a Blink Dagger, so very aggressive build. And obviously the second Roche is going to be a pretty big deal, as we've seen throughout this patch. Is that something you think will be changed in any way?
I think it definitely needs a nerf. I think I was talking to Cinder and he said they should just remove cheese.
That was from me, thank you.
That was from you?
Well, I told
I don't
Cinder
like this idea that much anymore. I thought it was really good, but some new information has come to light. No, I think it's a decent idea.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I think Shard is just cool, right?
It is,
And
it is. I
Cheese
don't want
like,
them to Shard.
Oh, Shad's going to break a smoke here. ILTW gets the homing missile off. And TP coming in from Celery. Boom. Yep, has to be careful here. Miracle. And they don't really have any, like, really quick jump on the side of Nigma. Like, no stuns or anything like that. Like, you can dive in, but...
Yeah, they don't have any instant stuns or initiation. It makes... If you play... That's why they had the snowball, right? Like, if you don't have anything to instantly kill someone and outplay them, then how do you play from behind? You can't surprise them.
I'm just so used to seeing, like, Blink Hex from Lion every single game.
Yeah, every game.
Oh, they're going to spot Miracle. They're going to jump right in. And again, Shad's right clicks are way too much to deal with. Boom, continue on. They really want GH. He's already at half HP, but not a whole lot of mana left on Boom. He has the homing missile applied. Just enough mana to get that last right click off. And in the meantime, Kezu on the other side of the map here pops his BKB. Looks like he'll live. Trying to prevent any TP here from Mind Control. Shad finds him in the tree. Split Earth not going to connect. And the right clicks have cometh. 3 dead. Viking looking so good after a bit of a rough start this game.
Yeah, they're just playing their lineup to the utmost potential. You know, you see a hero, you burst them, and you sort of like, you look a bit, you know? You're patient.
That was almost an instant Roche, I do believe. It is up now.
They could get it now. They have time.
Yeah,
if they know. They don't know, though.
How dare they not know?
Yeah, why do they not have full vision?
As us?
It's crazy.
So Hurricane Pike was officially finished on LTW. Now he's going for the Maelstrom. So again, very late on that. We'll see how this works out.
I mean, he's kept him in farm just because he's Gyro Iroh.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he went a different item, maybe he'd have a bit more. I don't know how it works with Gyro Iroh. I don't play that combo at all because no one I play with can play Iroh.
Why don't you play the Iroh?
Well, because I only play unranked, so I have to play core, otherwise we lose.
Of course, yeah.
I'm not high enough skill for ranked. I have great fear of being
it's understandable.
Mean things get said in ranked, so I don't like it.
That's true. Yeah, ranked is not fun sometimes. But looking at... As we have a smoke here from Viking, but looks like Aramis is actually working towards an Aghanim Scepter.
Straight into Roshan here. This smoke is just to secure the area.
Yep, and looks like it's going to be a freebie.
That is free. It's a shard on Ursa, most likely.
Oh, yeah. Ursa's shard is God tier. Top 5 in the game.
You think so?
Yes, 100%. Lowers the cooldown of Earthshock and gives you an enrage for 1.5 seconds every time you use Earthshock. Basically unkillable. Aegis, will go to Boom, the best Aegis carry in the game. So Shad will take the Shard and the Cheese.
If they do remove Cheese, though, I'd like you to be able to like trade the Aegis for a Cheese or something. Because there's some lineups that just can't use Aegis.
What do you mean trade it?
I don't know, in the shop. You just click, turn into Cheese.
God, this is getting too complicated.
Okay, I forget it. Ignore me, mute me. Thank you.
Just delete Cheese, please.
Okay.
I mean, Shard is more valuable than Cheese in almost every... Like, it's very situational where Cheese would be better, I think, right?
It's like for these like Lycan DP, TB heroes, like the transformation ones.
Uh-huh.
Like those ones, like the Aegis isn't that good, but Cheese is amazing.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I'm sure they can come up with something unique. Maybe a completely new item. Just get rid of Cheese,
just put,
get
like,
rid of
8
everything.
new items in right before TI quals. That's what I want to see. I don't play anymore, so I just want to see the destruction and panic. That's what you live for.
Yeah, panic. Sure, Arkosh Gaming, just in general, they love that as well. So I'm looking forward to casting them, potentially, in the TI qualifiers. Of course, that's no relation to you whatsoever. But
I don't think they're going to win a single game.
Yeah, I doubt it. I know Jenkins really supports them for some reason. Not really sure why. Probably no relation as well, but...
True.
Very interesting team, to say the least.
They do have the Storm Aegis. I'm curious to see how they want to use this. Miracle is doing a really good job just split pushing and applying pressure. Right now, if you look at Nigma's plan, like it's hard to find this Aegis because, you know, it's a Storm Aegis, they have Cheese. So they want to sort of play side lanes. They can't get caught here, though.
Yeah. Well, with the Aegis, they secure themselves a tier 2 in the bottom lane. And Miracle, like you said, still split pushing. TP support coming, though, and ILTW and GH are in the vicinity. But Boom initiates onto Miracle to start things out. Already at half HP, but they take out GH. That is all the tankiness for ILTW outside. Miracle possibly BKB in turn, though, trying to apply a lot of pressure to Boom. That is the Aegis. He expended the Laguna Blade, but Miracle gets bursted down by Shad. That's a double kill for him. Boom looking for more, but already Mind Control able to TP out, and it looks like Kuroki should be fine as well.
Yeah, Hurricane Pike didn't really work out there. I think the idea with the Force stuff is it could be cool, especially if you're ahead. Like, he's itemizing based on, like, they were 5k ahead, right? Like, I can see it working. You itemize a bit defensively, you can't die. But, like, once you're behind and you don't build damage items, like, there's no comeback potential. You just don't do enough damage to heroes that have more net worth than you.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Aegis is down at the very least, as there's now 7k net worth lead for Viking, and the jump in onto Mind Control. You can see the egg, that's the Shard, being able to heal, but it's not going to be enough to save the life of Mind Control at the very least, but the egg does connect on a couple of heroes. Seller able to at least pop his ult in the meantime. And now they'll turn this around into a tier 2 mid. Fortification is still up, as we saw the backdoor protection kick in just temporarily.
Yeah, BKB up on Ursa again, so already it's hard to play the map on Nigma.
And they're pretty close to Aghanim Scepter on Aramis. He's about 1,000 away.
Their supports are really farmed.
Yeah, they are. So that'll give him the spit out, or whatever the hell, the gobble up, as we're going to see the initiation again onto ILTW with no IO in sight, but there we go. GH comes in with the save.
Oh, they popped the Cheese on Storm, so he's ready.
Okay. And he's ready to go then. All right, Miracle in the vicinity. You can see Shad jump in. They're just going to blow him up right off the bat. Oh, no. And now the turnaround onto Kuroki, and this is falling apart so quickly for Team Nigma. Buyback on the GH. ILTW gets bashed, though, and bursted down. Triple kill for Shad. He does not care with that Shard. Mind Control trying to get healed up by GH, but that is now an ultra kill. Shad just does way too much damage. And that might be it. They don't have any creeps yet, though, so this will be a bit of a slow push to start things out, but finally they connect. And Viking looking unstoppable.
It was overall really well played with Viking. I don't think they panicked for a single second when they were down 5k. They knew they could just wait for their timing, and every time I felt like they could do something, even when I didn't see it with full vision, they were just, you know, that Storm rotation to top, perfect. At the top river, it's really good. They're clawing their way back into this one. It's looking good for them.
Yeah, they got that mid-racks. I mean, still 15 seconds left on Miracle coming back for the full force of Team Nigma, but it'll cost them 2 racks.
The supports are actually really good at killing buildings. You have the minus armor from Aramis and
Abaddon's Curse of Avernus.
Curse of Avernus on Celery.
Yeah, that's one of the... Like, Abaddon was always such a boring hero, but when they changed the curse to be like this is like the best variation, I think, of Abaddon ever. Just giving him some, like, a lot of push potential.
You're not a fan of the one-spell heroes, like the old Skeleton King?
I mean, I am, to some degree, you know? Like, Lifestealer now is kind of a... I mean, it's close.
Yeah.
He has 2 passives.
No, I agree, though. I think it's a good spell. I will say, like, people that play in my pubs, they always go for the 4th hit like it's a Jingu stack. Like, they'll tank tower to hit you 4 times.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything unless you hit them more. It's very strange.
You only get a silence.
Yeah, I mean, I get silence in my tower and hit them back.
Uh-oh, ILTW. They're going to jump onto Miracle again, though. Boom pops the BKB. Miracle does so in turn as well. But ILTW is the one now that they're focusing on. But there is the relocate. Just a little baby one on the other side of the cliff here. There's the egg as well with the stun ray coming through. Viking has to be careful. They might have to back up here. Shad with the BKB. Overpowers out to safety, and that means Celery is going to be the lone member to fall. But again, kind of a botched initiation from Viking, if you want to call it that. It's only going to cost them Celery.
Very fast fingers from Miracle. I'm a complete idiot. The Hurricane Pike is because he's playing against Razor. Completely forgot about that. Just need a Hurricane Pike to break the link. So that's
I literally said this, Curtis.
You did?
You need to listen
but
to
I don't listen to you.
I know. It's Cinderen's the same way, so you guys are cut from the same cloth, it seems.
I mean, I don't really like it still. I feel like you should get something that helps you scale more. And even just a Force Staff is good enough for that, which I like the Force Staff, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. So Ursa now with the full Abyssal Blade. So he's in melee range, which he usually is. We'll be able to get that nice stun. As we can see, the item timing almost 5 minutes faster. Wow, that's a quick Abyssal Blade.
That is very fast, and that just makes it impossible to react. Like, Nigma were able to win that fight because of Miracle's fast reaction to a Storm Zip. If Ursa's Blink Abyssaling you from smoke, there's no hope.
Yeah, so we got the Blink Abyssal for Shad.
Yeah, they're going to show
Very
Razor
scary.
mid and just smoke past him and try to get a good fight. Ooh, they have an amazing ward, too.
Oh, we have a giant jump in onto GH from a long range, and that is an insta-gib. As ILTW, okay, he's going to call down just to prevent any further members of Viking coming over, but that's a pretty big kill. I mean, that's the hero you want to kill first pretty much in every engagement. Oh, this is another good one, though. Miracle getting bursted down again by Shad. The Abyssal Blade coming through. He does have buyback available, though, as you see the kisses coming in. And there, boom. I think that was the goggle up, actually. Now they're going to apply all the pressure to mind control. He's going to drop. No buyback for him, but Miracle does use his. Now 5v3. Jump in again. ILTW getting bashed down by Shad. And this looks like the beginning and end of this best of 3 as Viking look to be taking this 2-0, which means that they should be matching up against T1, and Team Nigma will go to the lower bracket. But they're not giving up quite yet. Still a buyback for ILTW. Or the tier 1 and 2 are still up on the top lane, so the Ancient is kind of the only play here for Viking. They do have pretty good push like we talked about. So at the very least get this tier 4. And by that I mean they'll leave it. Kind of have to wait for creeps here. Sully's in a bit of trouble in terms of HP.
At the very least, they'll get this tier 4.
Yeah, there we go. I said it. I was right.
Good cast.
Thank you, thank you. Roshan not going to be up for a little bit, so can't go for any other objectives. I mean, the top lane, it would be nice to get the tier 1 and 2 because next fight you can just get megas and pretty much ensure.
I think the objective here is just Roshan. They're going to set up these wards, they're going to camp that Radiant Triangle, and it's going to be very hard for Nigma to pierce that area.
Yeah, 19k net